Woohoo! Welcome everybody to Hex Token channel. Man, oh man, a lot's happening. A bit of a mixed day today, but lots of good stuff. So much good stuff. We're going to check it out today during the live stream. Hope you guys enjoy yourself. Now, the magic carpet ride of doing the live stream for the launch of course, Internet Money. We're going to quickly cover that. We're going to come back to it. But they're almost up to their first target. And so very, very exciting. Now, there is a delay in the updates here on the imcrypto.net. Now, the link is in the video description. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, of course, get into the chat. We love it. So we're going to get all into that pretty shortly. They're pretty close to hitting their $1.2 million goal. And that's kind of within what's about an hour and a quarter or something like that. So extremely good. And of course, the way they've done the sacrifice is different. So it's going to be pretty fun to see that play out. Fish Tank's in the house. Woohoo! Hey, Fish Tank, good to see you. And welcome to everybody, of course. We've got a few cool emojis in the house, that's for sure. We've got Big Simp 69. Woohoo! Nice one. Brazology in there as well. The emojis, love it. Tin Top's in the house. What's up, Mexicans? And good to see Tin Top there as well. John Akianair is in the house. Woo! Yeah, it's a pretty fun day for sure. There's lots of going on in the ecosystem. This is what it's going to be like. You imagine this is what it's like now with a couple of these sacrifices on projects on the Pulsechain. Imagine when Pulsechain launches, you're going to be overwhelmed, completely overwhelmed by the amount of stuff that's happening in the space. It's going to be pretty cool. Sandeep's in the house, and of course, woohoo! Big shout out to Calcutta, India. Sandeep there. Hex King's in there too with the woohoos. Love it. And of course, that is the channel anthem, folks. If you're wondering what the woohoos are all about, it is just the excitement that we have with Pulsechain, PulseX, and Hex. Pretty cool. What is good, says Pulsechain Hex Game. Lots is good. We're going to talk about stuff. We're also going to talk about My Life is Awesome later on. So hold on to that. And of course, Rack and Rochelle, the Overwatch big venture capital whale. We're going to talk about that too. So hold on to your hat with that. It's going to be pretty fun. A1 gets in the house. Hey, Hex, man. Good to see you, A1. Very cool. So yeah, there's 172 people watching the Magic Carpet Ride doing their launch for Internet Money. Very exciting. And of course, this dollar value here, 1.2 million is the first target they need to hit. That's Pool A, and of course, 71% of the IMD tokens are given to that. So IMD 71% is to the first target, the 1.2 million. I actually prefer this approach to sacrificing. I think that it's potentially quick, and of course, this only began about an hour and a quarter ago or so. And of course, they're already over $1 million, already over 1.1 million. The latest number is 1,187,000. You don't see it here, but it is on the Magic Carpet Ride update. So 1,100,870, 1,187,000, and they need 1.2 million. Pool A will be hit at 71% of the tokens. And then, of course, after that, all the funds move over to Pool B, and of course, every 100,000 will unlock 1 percentage point up to 10%. So that's a total of 81% potentially that will be in the market. The other 19% will be held by the team, apparently. No expectations from the work of others. So let's see what they do with that. Obviously, they're getting sacrifice funds and they get IMD tokens, but what do they do with it all? That's another question. Obviously, software development, because this is all about a wallet for Pulsechain, MetaMask wallet for Pulsechain, but with its own separation. Very cool. Now, obviously, people that are holding IMD tokens when it launches on Pulsechain will be getting the fees that are happening. So all the swaps that are going to happen on the IMD wallet will be those fees. A percentage will be going to the people that are holding the IMD. So it's a really cool passive income, and it's going to be paid out in PLS tokens. So more Pulse, you get to ride up the Pulse train there with these passive income fees. So it could be very lucrative. On top of that, of course, IMD could get speculated up in price as well. So it's kind of limited. I like this idea. Yeah, very cool. Now, the only thing I don't like about the sacrifice is the Hex sacrifice in there. But the team do say that they're going to convert all the other tokens that are not stable coins into stable coins, and then of course Hexes they're going to probably treat differently. So I hope they do, particularly at this moment. I think they're better off just riding up Hex up the line as well. They'll make a lot more money holding the Hex. Obviously, getting copy on the Pulse chain. I prefer them to do that. Certainly, that would be better than selling it down now at this stage. So that's just a couple of thoughts there. Very exciting. This is the official address, of course, OX481. 7927. It looks like they're up to $1,188,000 US dollars at the moment, only less than $12,000 away from the 1.2 million target. So they're getting very close indeed. And that's based on their DBank statistics. So that's the best statistics. This statistics here is delayed. They had problems launching the website, got over too many people using it. It wasn't set up for that. And of course, this actual update in the sacrifice is delayed as well. They've got a few little things that are fixed up, but it's still sitting delayed here. So they're actually up to 1,188,000. So they're not far away from 1.2 million. That's pretty much it. So you can see this is pool A. 1.2 million is where they're going to hit. 70.8% of the IMD tokens are going to be to this. So that's why people have got in so quick. An hour and a quarter, hour and 20 minutes, and they're eating up this pool. They want to get the scarcity that's there. And then, of course, another 10% will be opened up here as soon as every 100,000 will open up 1 more percent and so forth. So total is 81% pretty much. And, of course, the rest is goes to the team. No expectations, the work of others. We'll see how that plays out too. Obviously, this is through the Magic Carpet Ride team, so got a bit of a street cred from that. So that's pretty nice as well. Now, obviously, it's designed to go from the March the 14th through the April the 14th, but I don't see it lasting very long. As I said in previous live streams, I said this would go quick because it's got limited amount of IMD tokens. There's only a little bit left. It's down to just over 10,000 left. I have sacrificed for this a modest amount. Yeah, there we are. I haven't gone big on this. I just did a modest amount on this. And so we'll see. I'm just putting that in and see how we go because I like the limited tokenomics. The team, of course, has got Intimate Money, another project on Binance Smart Chain. It's very different from this. The pump mentors from this is way better because it's going to be on Pulsechain. It's going to be a wallet and, of course, the fee generation from the wallet. The wallet generation fee is going to be just slightly less than MetaMask. So I think it's 0.7 or something like that. So it's just slightly less than MetaMask fees. So it's going to be pretty cool. The only thing, of course, we don't know how they're going to get adoption. Obviously, making a wallet on Pulse Chains, it's not going to give you instant adoption on that. Obviously, they can advertise it through Magic Carpet Ride YouTube, which is sitting at about 3,600, plus all their Telegram groups are much bigger. So they could do that also, but they probably need a few more promoters as well. So we'll see whether some of the sacrifice money ends up going into marketing because you're going to need that. And of course, we all know that Richard Hart's on his roadmap is to do a MetaMask wallet, a superior one. And we'll see how that goes because it's going to be an interesting play there going on as well. So pretty cool. Congratulations to them. Huge success. I think the limited target's much better. I think some of the other sacrifices, are way too high. Depending on the type of business model it is, and of course development costs. But I think this is far more appropriate. So I do actually like the limited tokenomics and the limited value they're targeting. Not far away from $1.2 million. Pretty cool. So very, very nice on that. Now, obviously, with less than 10,000 to go, it moves into Pool B. So it's coming up soon as well. So very, very nice. All right, cool. Look at the breakdowns at the moment. You can see this is not the full total, but you can see Hex there, USD, the top two, then BUSD, Ether, DAI, USD Tether, and BNB. So that's the pools there. And we're almost at the full pool. And once we get that, only 10% left after that every 100K. So this could easily be sold out within 24 hours. And we don't see any Hex Godwell in there, but this is definitely in play at the moment. Obviously, we've got operational risk. We need the team to be able to deliver the wallet and put it on Pulsechain. Now, understand that their head developer is one of Richard Hart's developers and working on that AMM bot. So if he's clever enough to work on the AMM bot, then he should be able to do the MetaMask, this wallet, quite easily, relatively speaking. So I think that's pretty good for that. Cool. All right, so nice. This is a cool calculator at the bottom. It's got the fact that if you had a sacrifice, so let's say we had 1.2 million sacrificed in the pool, not 1.2 million, that'd be 70.8% of the total amount of IMD available. Let's say that you sacrifice $1,000. That's going to give you 1,100, almost 1.2 million IMD, and of course that would be 0.05% of the total IMD. And of course, it assumes that if fees were generated daily was, let's say what's a 10,000? Let's do a bit of math on that. Let's say fees generated daily. Let's just say 10,000. Then that would be over 30 days. That would give you $177 in Pulse before. So $170 pretty good compared to $1,000 investment. That's going to pretty much in preparatory, and continue into the future. Of course, that's before Pulse price rises. So if you get this Pulse paid out in Pulse, then the price ramps up. This could be worth just insane amount of money, all off your $1,000. So once again, they've still got to get the adoption. That's the only question I have, and of course, that would take promotion and marketing to do that, right? So, but hey, if they've got a unique wallet to Pulsechain, it's got a nice little synergy there. And they may be able to get that up and running, because I don't think it's going to be too much to get that up and running. But of course, if you're estimating how many fees they will get compared to, say, MetaMask running at the moment, that's the kind of play. So very, very cool. Wish them the best. I have sacrificed a moderate amount into this, and given the limited tokenomics, and of course it's the only one around a MetaMask wallet at the stage. So for Pulsechain. So cool. All right, let's get into some of the comments here as we go. So we got Pulsechain says, our boy Lit. Yeah, we're going to talk about our boy Lit, because he did a nice little video. And of course, his mother's just passed away. Many of us who have had our mothers passed away and had to care for our mothers have a good understanding of what he's been going through, particularly if if they've got something particularly that's taken them to the next world, as it were. John Kinner's in the house. Woo-hoo! Hey John, good to see you. Obviously, I see 1187. 1187. So that's a lot on DBank. Nice. Here's the DBank profile. Unfortunately, I don't have that link on here. Let me just pull it up there. See if I can view that. Let me pull it up on the YouTube.
I'm no author, and I sell.
Let me just pull it up on the YouTube. Just a moment. Pull it up. Boom. All right. So I think we got that one. Let me just open that up and pull it over on the DBank. Yeah. So very cool. So the 1.2 million's been reached, folks. Very, very cool. Let's pull it up. Bam. A big shout out to Brazology for that. Don't you love the community? It just helps you out as you go. So there we are, 1.2 million, folks. Woohoo! Well done. Pool A has been hit. So now we're into Pool B. Every $100,000 will open up 1 more % of IMD tokens. So now, obviously, moving into that next 100,000 slot, we've got another 1%. So another 1% of the amount of volume is going to open up here. So and then we'll get into the next 100,000. We'll have another 1% up. So that basically could open up a whole another million in value. So and the last one. So it's going to be pretty fascinating to see that play out. All right, cool. That's very nice. Let us hold on to that, and let me just jump out of this part here. Big shout out to Brazology for that. Mix is in the house with the rockets and emojis. I love it. Mix looking good. And of course, what else we got going? 1 million and 30 minutes. Yeah. 1.2 million. We're sacrificed. So we're definitely over 1.2 million now. Looking really good. Let me refresh that again. 1201. So that's a better market there for the Internet Money. Congratulations to Internet Money and to Magic Capital Ride for that. That's pretty awesome. Also, we're going to talk about PowerCity. They've also got over $1 million, so we'll talk about that pretty soon as well. Ramon is in the house. Hi, Hexkins. Hey, good to see you, Ramon. And hey. And Tim Tot says, am I off? I'm skipping the sacrifice and buying dips on known high performing products. I hope I'm not off the mark on this one. Wish them best of luck in mad gains. Hey, Tim Top, that's a great strategy. That is the strategy that I suggest as well. But of course, I've decided, just because of the limited tokenomics on this, that I would do a moderate sacrifice. And as he says, so many sacrifices there are. I guess a lot of the market is tired out of sacrifices. So definitely, if you've got into these first couple, you'll be pretty happy with that, because getting in while the energy is hot is the way to go, right? All right, so cool. We got Briz. Do they accept an 87 octane gasoline for sacrifice? I'm not sure about that. Yeah, Briz and blood on the streets. My dollars goes to Rich Hart Project. Absolutely agree with that 100%. HR is making his own wallet here. He will be making that because he already talked about that. So it's going to be interesting to see that. There's always a room for a couple of wallets, of course. Dingo Wolf says, quick question, what goes up must come down unless you take a flag to the moon and leave it there, says Dingo Wolf. Nice one. 1.2 million achieved. Yes. Very cool. Jean François Boxu is in the house. Woo! Pulse X is in the house as well. I'd like to know if I stake my PLX, will I be able to yield farm with my XPLS? No, not with the XPLS, but you'll be making more Magic Buy and Burn. We're going into there. You'll be making more PLS out of your ratio there. You get more PLS by staking your PLX. So cool. Brazology says it's going to be a one-sided kind of staking, really. Brazology said, woohoo, nice one. Craig Whiting's in the house. Hey, big one. Our latest content creator for Hex, Pulsechain, and Pulsechain is created warning. Don't forget to go and subscribe to Hex. Was it Gen Hex? Yeah, Gen Hex. Go subscribe to that. Hey, I think I actually forgot to put that on the channel recommended channels list. So I'll do that, Craig, as well. Tin Top says, woohoo, have you heard about Haunted Strategy, bro? I have. Tin Top says, we're talking to Pulsechain on that one. Dingo Wolf, nice one. All right, so that's cool. Let's do a refresh on this. We're going to come back to this, folks. We have hit Pool A, and we're now in Pool B. So like I say, Pool B is this one. No cap, 10% of IMD. So every 100,000 that goes in there, there'll be another 1 percentage points opened up. So cool for that. All right, let us jump over to Hex price. Woo-hoo. Now the drama. Of course, we did say in previous comment that Hedron would have an impact. Obviously, we've had internet money as well. I'm not sure if people have sold their Hex to go into internet money. I haven't checked any of those, but definitely people have sacrificed a lot of Hex, as we showed up top here. Where is it on here? I think we've got the Hex. 3.5 million Hex sacrificed. Now that could be a lot of liquid Hex, not Hex. Obviously, that's not been sold, so that'd be a lot of liquid Hex. But whether any of these stables or coin USDC or something is from that is unknown. So we've got USDC there. Don't know if anyone's sold down the Hex. Presumably they'll just transfer the Hex. That'd make a lot more sense. So I doubt it that Hedron, internet money has made much of an impact on price, but Hedron has today. Obviously, I did say I think in the short term, particularly with Hedron being relatively new, that it would have some impact on Hex price. And of course, we saw that today in particular, right? So there was one big wallet in Hedron that was selling down 3 billion Hedron at a time, and that pulled the price down, but we'll get into that. So we're going to talk about Hedron and Hex interchangeably. This is the hourly chart, and you can see that we're actually gaining, folks. We're actually gaining, and this is twice this has happened. First time we had an XOG. So if we go back here, this was a Hex OG. We were up here at 13.7. Hex OG pulled us down, which is a known Hex OG that we know sells down. And then, of course, this one here was a result of Hedron. And, of course, we were actually getting up here to 13.2 cents. We were getting that uptrend. So the uptrend was in play, man. The uptrend was in play. And it still is in play, but it's been really knocked around, you know. And, of course, we're still trying to break out of the breakout, as it were. So we ended up coming down here with the pullback. And it was all because a big Hedron whale was selling down 3 billion Hedron at a time. So let's actually go. And I'm going to add the trades in before we get to that. And let's go ahead. I think I've been very accurate with the Hedron price calls because it's tending to go the direction that I've said, which is pretty interesting on that. We're going to scroll all the way back here. I'm not sure how far I have to go. Just trying to find some of these $3 billion sales here as well. I think I have to go back into the hourly. Is it number 11 o'clock? Yeah, so it's quite a far back here. Let me just scroll back to this period. Just to show you some of these 3 billion. Here we are. So you see all these 3 billion cells? See these 3 billion cells? Heaps of them. They just kept coming. So a very big wallet. And I think they sold out. So they sold out all at Hedron, folks. And 3 billion. Let's go to their address. They were selling nonstop. 3 billion. It really was unrelenting. Let's go into their wallet. They have now 800,000 USD. They have no Hedron left. They did sell out, but they got 800,000 USD. So that's really what drove this pullback, folks. What drove this pullback. And of course, people came in. Some people were expecting the pullback after we broke down through here. So let's check that out. We're going to get rid of there. So I just showed you the big wallet that was selling this down. That not only did it sell down, but it actually impacted the price of Hex, and the Hex came down too. So just some crazy stuff there. Let us go into this, and we're going to just scroll this up here. So let's pull this up here. We're on the hourly here as well on Hedron. You can see us pull back. Of course, we pulled back all the way down to 4,200. Now, remember what I said? I said in the video yesterday, I said our next target, once, because we had broken down through all these angles, like the first one was this angle, and then we broke down, we broke this first angle here. We then broke this angle. We then broke this angle. And of course, we broke down there. We broke through this long-term angle here. We broke through the long-term one and down, and then we kind of had a rally. So it's rallying up, and we came up to 61. We were down at 4,900. And we got down to here. We're holding up, I guess, holding up around here, 5,400. Then the big sell down by the big wallet. and we went down to 42. So I did say the next target was 4,600, and this was based on this week's support here. And of course, then it got busted just by one big whale. That's all you need. And of course, it broke that target. The next target, of course, was 3,300. And that's still in play, folks, still in play because we've still got this downtrend happening. And we haven't got higher than 4,900, 500 here. So we haven't got higher than this mark here. And so that's still in place. So be very careful, as I said earlier today, on that. Now, if we pull back we've got the Fibonacci. Sorry, we've got the Fibonacci here. I've got that. Where did I do? Delete that one. Sorry. We've got the Fibonacci here, and of course we have pulled back not quite to 50%. 50% is 3,900. So we bounced, still haven't reached 50% retrace. But we're still up here at the moment at the 38.2. So we're still up there. And this is kind of where I thought we would go. I don't know how, obviously, if we get some big wallets, we can get down to 68 retrace, which would be 3,100 to 3,300. But the fact is that we've got a lot of good, diamond hand hexkins holding Hedron, but then we've got speculators that have come in into the market from the low price into the high price. So we've got that in there as well. So just be wary of that. Typically, of course, these prices would have crashed out a lot more, but we are pretty much still in the downtrend at the moment. We have not got any proven uptrend. Obviously, the market can do anything if a big buyer comes in. $500,000, $1 million buyers have come in. The biggest one I've seen so far is 667,000 because I don't obviously watch it all the time, but basically on like this was our candle here, this one back here on the 11th of March, there was a $670,000 buyer that saved the day. Instead of just coming down really fast this way, we managed to go back up there and actually made a new all-time high up here. So unless we get something like that coming, I do expect this to come in as Hedron goes on. It's still early days for Hedron. So I do expect that, but at the moment we're in a bearish market here, right here. So be very careful with speculating because a lot of people are coming in. Obviously, the people on this green candle did pretty well. They were up about, let's have a look here, 4,200, and of course if they sold at the top, they were up 30%. So you're getting a lot of people coming in. As soon as they see a nice little retrace, in they go. So very interesting to see that. So also at this time, of course, Joker was running his live stream. They were talking about this as well. So maybe a few people on that were watching and also participated in this nice little pump here. But now it's pulled back again, right? It's pulled back again to 4,700. And of course, I said the 4,600 was the next marker. And we've punched through that, and now we're heading back towards it. So just be very cautious, particularly if you're trading your hex out. Man, you don't really want to lose value. You could lose big time in this game if you're on the wrong side of the trend. Just remember, it's nice when it's going up. You're making mad gains, big X's, but it works the other way too. So at the moment, be very cautious at this stage. So yeah, very interesting stuff here. Obviously, so that's where we're at the moment. So 4,600 and 3,300 the play at the moment. And of course, we know we could get a bounce off 4,600. It's not inevitable that we go to 33. I think that was if we had a lot of big accounts, like even small accounts, a whole ton of small accounts can add up. But if we get, some of the big accounts, then, that would be the case. But most of the big accounts are hanging in for the long term. So that's not too bad there. All right, so that's the hourly. Let's have a quick look at the daily on Hedron. And of course, you can see that we're not that old as well. Let me just pull this candle up here. So what days are we in? We're in day 1, 2, 3. We're in day number 16. So that means you've only got a few days left to get the 9x bonus to claim that. You don't have to mint your tokens, but you have to claim the bonus if you want to get that 9x bonus that will apply across the whole period of your stake for Hedron. So just take them into account. But look at this chart. Very, very cool. Clearly, we're in a bit of a pullback, right? I think that's pretty obvious. So just be a bit more cautious about where you're heading. As I say, 4,600 and 3,300 are kind of where I see this potentially retracing. And of course, 61.8 retrace, which happens a lot in crypto, is a 3,100. So obviously, you can, if you buy now, you can fall a lot. So just be a bit more cautious about that. Maybe a dollar cost average strategy if you are wanting to play a speculation of a higher price. So, but once again, very, very cautious here. I'm not entering at the moment. Okay. So that's my own opinion. Of course, not investment advice. Do what you want. But once again, that's kind of where the thing. So far, I've been pretty good. I've been actually impressed with my predictions, and so far it's been pretty accurate. So I'm pretty happy with that. All All right, cool. So let us jump over to Hex, of course, and let's move out of the hourly into the daily. This is our better trend. And of course, here we are. We're still in the uptrend just, but our price path, as I said earlier in the day video, has been impacted by Hedron. It got impacted back here on day 12. It also got impacted here on day 14. So 2 impacts there. And yeah, so it has impacted, but we're still in the uptrend as long as we don't come back down to this 10.8 cent mark. That's very important that we hold up above here. At the moment, we've got a low of 11.5 and a high of 13.2. That 13.2 was going to probably end up being a green candle, and we're at a red candle because of the Hedron. Of course, people selling out and all that sort of stuff. So obviously, if the Hedron price sells out, people want to get profit, so they go in, they try to buy it up to ride it back up, and so they sell the Hex to do that. So that's kind of the idea there. So nice, and not everybody that sells, of course, is going to be a Hedron. Some of them sell because they see the candle going down, so they want to sell out. They jump on at the bagwagon there. The small plebs, of course, small plebs doing that. All right, cool. That's where at the moment, of course, here is the resistance. And, of course, we're just sliding along that resistance rather than having a nice, strong breakout as we were hoping for. And I'm sure we would have had it already if it wasn't for, the profiteering excitement over in Hedron. So definitely going out for there. All right, so that's where we're heading at the moment. Of course, today is pretty pivotal. As I said yesterday, today's pivotal. And, of course, tomorrow will be important as well. We've got one or 2 days to get out of this downward wedge and break out. So let's hold on to the fingers crossed for that, and hopefully we'll get some positive breakout there as well. Let me just hold that, and we're kind of looking at that now. Obviously, once we do that, it's a lot more bullish. And at the moment, we're still in a slightly bullish trend, but I'm more likely to go up than down at this stage. Obviously, if we break down, like I say, to 10.8, we're looking at a bit of indecision there. And of course, that doesn't bode well. That could potentially mean that 8%, going down to 8 cents Hex is becoming more likely. So yesterday I had it at 10%. That could, if we get down to here, that could move it up to 30%. So it's not a great idea. Hopefully we'll hold here is the kind of way I see it. Cool. All right. So then our next resistance, the next price of target, of course, is still around that 20 cent mark up the top here. That's our big resistance in the big triangle. We want to break out of that, very bullish, and get our little green candle going. This one here, waiting for this. This may be translated over to the right. Obviously, at the moment, we're waiting for Pulsechain to launch. And of course, Pulsechain, the earliest date I have that for the moment is the 15th of April, but that does assume that Pulsechain testnet 2.5 or 2B does launch today, tomorrow, or Wednesday, somewhere like that. So I think that's within the week. So somewhere in the next few days, and if we can launch on time, that would be really cool. All right, you may have seen Overwatch's price prediction. Awesome stuff. I love it. How many places get whales that give out their price predictions? And of course, Hex. He had Hex on ETH. And this is within the next 2 years. Hex on ETH, $1.20 on Pulsechain, $1.20 on Hex ETH chain. That's $2.40. Pretty exciting. And of course, if you've got Hex on ETH, you're going to get a copy on Pulsechain. So very exciting. And of course, there's a stellar price predictions for Pulsechain and PulseX. Were absolutely awesome. Over 8,000. I think it was 8,000, 11,000 X, something like that. We'll double check that later, but I think that's what the numbers were. Of course, from the all-time low, price discovery kind of sets that floor, and then away to the roses. That was up with the 2-year time frame. Very, very exciting stuff. So very cool. All right, so that's where we're at there. Let's have a look at the DMI. Obviously, DMI is probably pulled back a bit from what we had. Yeah, so the buyers were coming up. We had that direction. Nice. Now it's down the bottom here. We want it to go up. The seller's direction was coming down. It's gone up a little bit, of course, with the Hedron, and then we're waiting for this turnaround. So still waiting for the scenario to play out. We almost got there, folks, almost, and we may still get there in the next day or two. Very, very pivotal time. And then the other one, of course, is the RSI's got plenty of room to move for a nice uptrend. So we're waiting for that too, to get this nice green on. This is going to happen at some stage. Just got to be there for the right time. If you are not in Hex and this green candle happens, you'll be regretting it. It's kind of the way to go. So yeah, at the moment, still positive that we're in this uptrend. As you can see, we've still got it higher than the long-legged doji. And yeah, obviously, if we start collapsing down to 10.8 cents, the whole scenario changes then. So we're just going to be careful. All right, cool. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. So that's Hex and Hedron price discussion there. Let's jump back to the D-Bank and see what the internet money's at. 1,204,714. So it's definitely slowed down now that we hit 1.2 million. Yeah, let's see how we go. Every $100,000 will unlock one more percentage point of the supply. So remember, the 70.8% is pool A. That was at 1.2 million. Then every $100,000 is going to open up 1 percentage point more, up to 10%. So that's basically $1 million, isn't it? Would get that total 10% out. So that's going to change the percentages around a bit there. Very, very cool. All right, so let's before we get on to Hedron in more detail, let's jump on into the comments here, see what's in the house. We've got Gen Hex in the house. Cool, thanks. Yeah, definitely go subscribe to Gen Hex. Very, very cool. I'm not sure, actually, I think you've already up. We jumped from 2 subscribers up to over 30, so I'm not sure where you're at the moment, Gen Hex, but that's really, really cool. What else we got going? T says your Hedron calls have been consistently accurate. Great job. Yeah, I've been pretty happy with them too, T. And Eurasian says Hex price is down again. Yeah, like I say, to the Hedron. Tin Top says Hex on sale. Yeah, at 11.7 cents. Yeah, I agree. So it's good when it gets down to this level. Is to DCA, dollar cost average, and it's a good way to go. But when the price goes, man, it's going to go. It's going to be really good for Pulsechain, and we're all waiting for that, all being patient there. And once it starts moving, it goes, right? We saw that with the Hedron price. Once the Hedron's price started moving, look at this. It just slowly creeps up, and bam, 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 bam. It's a wave to Rosie. You're gone. If you're not on the train, you've lost it, right? And you're sitting out there going, woohoo, kind of like that. And so that's kind of what we're expecting for the Hex with the run up there too. Stage doesn't mean it's going to be perfectly like that. It could be, a bit of waviness up there, but that's what we're kind of waiting for. Steve Wright says, like always, thank you so much for keeping us informed. Steve Wright, Santa Barbara. Hey, Steve, always a pleasure and great to see you in the chat as well. It is exciting times. We're just in that quiet spot. So we really are in the quiet spot just before all the action happens, and it is the best time to pick up the dollar cost average into your positions. You'll be laughing yourself silly. And of course, you'll be able to buy your new Teslas and things like that. It's going to be pretty exciting to do that. Little Richard says, be prepared for anything over the next 24 hours as Europe announces its plans from a POW and POS crypto. Right, proof of work or proof of stake. Okay, cool. Good to hear that, Little Richard. We'll look forward to that news out there. I don't actually like much of what the US or Europe are doing around these. I don't actually like the leaders that are in place, and I don't like a lot of their policies they're doing. They're not really looking out for the little man and in the street there. So yeah, we'll wait and see what they do. Craig Wedding says 33 subs. Thank you, Hex Token. Hey, awesome stuff, Craig. Once again, get on to Gen Hex, folks. If you haven't subscribed, go subscribe to Gen Hex. I will have to remember to put it in the chain there. Let me do it now on the live stream. Let's not muck around here. Let me go into, I think it's customization. Let me add that on. So customization, I think it is. Yes. Featured channels. Let me pull up HexGen on this, and let me add that in HexGen. I've got to make sure I add the right one, of course. Is it Gen Hex? No, Gen Hex. Is it Gen Hex or HexGen? Can't remember now. Gen Hex. Let me just double check on Craig's. Craig's there. Gen Hex. Yeah, Gen Hex. Okay, cool. Got that. I think that's this one here. Boom. All right. So let's add that. Bam. That's in. It's done. Let's publish that. Woohoo! So if you check the channels tab, let's have a look here. That should add on Gen Hex, the latest content creator, of course, from our very own Craig Wadding. Of course, a fresh perspective on that too. Let me look at the channels. Not sure that show. It might take a minute or two to show up. So maybe just refresh in a couple of minutes. That will probably show up there. But I've definitely added it on to publish that on. So nice. Let me just double check that's on my edit screen. Yeah, Gen Hex is there. So very, very cool. All right. Nice. Okay. All right. So very, very cool on that. Let me just go back to the studio and pump that out. Nice one. So that's what it's all about, folks. Supporting the community is really being what it's all about, of course. And yeah, big shout out. So good to have more content creators, right? Because I think it's going to get awesome. Awesome. Completion fails says, I'll be buying more Hex tomorrow when my Coinbase clears. Nice completion fails. Awesome stuff. And TikTok says, get on the Hex rocket train or crying baby. Yeah, the cry baby. That Richard does that, eh? He goes, woo, like that. So it's pretty funny. Hey, don't forget on the community tab, I've got a tweet about Richard Hart to the YouTube creator to get Richard Hart's channel back. So definitely go and go onto Twitter if you have an account. and then of course get on there and just show support for that. We'll try and get Richard back. These guys are, how they roll. I don't want to say too much because I'm on YouTube, but you know how they work. So if you can get on there and do what you can to help, that'd be really cool. And I'm just checking to see whether this channel's on there. It's not at the moment. So definitely cool. And completion fails is Conrad Zen streaming in 10 minutes. Yeah, Conrad Zen is a really cool OG guy. Man, he's done so much for promoting Hex, and particularly in the UK online. And he has a really nice, zany, fresh perspective. He is pretty cool, Conrad Zen. Buy me some too, says Craig. Please don't. I don't get paid until Thursday, lol. Yeah, a nice DCA into that. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Nice. All right. So they got me excited enough to say that. Very, very cool. All right, so looks like things are going to go pretty well. Once again, we'll do another update here on this for DBank on Internet Money, 1.28 million. Nice, going well. So let's go into the next one. We're going to go to Hedron. Now, this is pretty much there's a couple features. There's an airdrop for Hex holders, so you can claim your bonus 9x at the moment. There's 3 days and 21 hours to go before it goes down to 8x. So there are two things you can do. You can connect your wallet to Hedron DApp. Do that, connect your wallet. This is a read-only, by the way, for the airdrop. And basically, you can claim, you get a paid Hedron for every B share that you have for every day served in your stake. So if you have 1,000 days stake, you've served 500 days, you'll get B share Hedron paid for those B shares for those 500 days. That's kind of how it works. Obviously, you've got multiple stakes, you're going to get more airdrops there. So that's pretty cool. Now, you don't have to mint the tokens. There's two functions, claiming and minting. Claiming means that you're going to get a 9x bonus. So if you're getting 1 Hedron per day on a B share, you're going to get 9 times that. So you want to lock that in for sure, right? You guys are all after a 9x price bonus, or you need a nice 9x volume bonus. So you don't want to miss that out. In a couple of days' time, it's going to be 8x. So every 10 days, it drops down by 1x. So over the first 100 days is a very exciting claiming launch bonus. And of course, in 100 days, that claim will be gone. You will not see the claim button there. It will be gone. So you can do that now. Now, if you want to check out an awesome video on it, check out David Feder. That's David Feder on YouTube. He's going to be a Pulsechain validator, public validator. Go watch his videos on it. Does a very, very cool breakdown of the Hedron smart contract and the audits and everything else around it, how that works. So check out David Feder. Big shout out. Now, the other thing, of course, is so you lock in, you can claim your stakes bonus there for Hedron. And of course, you don't have to mint it straight away. You can mint it in the future anytime. So the more days that you serve in your stakes, the more Hedron you will get, right? So with a 9x bonus if you've claimed it. So claim today and you can mint tomorrow. That's pretty much it. You can mint it when you want to sell it. If you want to sell it, you can mint it, or you can just hold them there, speculate on the price, because Hedron's only just launched. And of course, it's a long way up and to the right with the journey, right? That's kind of what you're speculating on there. Very, very cool. The other two functions, of course, is that you've got HSI stakes. That's making new stakes, putting your Hex inside pretty much a jar, a wrapped Hex stake. And of course, that's like an NFT, and you can sell that, trade it, send it to other wallets. So it kind of gives more flexibility to the underlying Hex contract. So what does that do? It makes a lot of people stake 5555. So a lot of the underlying Hex gets staked 555, never gets unstaked from that point of view. It's kind of the way that works. It can get traded on a secondary market. Then thirdly, of course, if you make a new stake in an HSI stake, you can actually borrow against the future days. So the days you haven't served, the future days of the stake, you can borrow and get Hedron off that. Of course, I think it is up to 3 months. If you don't pay, that will go to a liquidation. And of course, we don't have any now because it's only just launched. Well, in the future, we could end up having some of these. And of course, people can then bid on these with their Hedron. So it's very cool. So you could end up winning people's Hex stakes if they default on their payments. And of course, if you win that within the auction, your Hedron wins that, but it gets burned. And so that takes Hedron off the market. So there's a couple of, I think it's at least 2 features that I'm aware of that do the burning. So it's pretty cool. All right, so we won't see that for a while though, right? We won't see that for a while. So that's pretty cool. But today, of course, is the claim and mint. That's the airdrop. And of course, you connect your wallet up. You'll see your stakes down the bottom here. There'll be a button on the right-hand side that says actions. And in there, there'll be claim. Hit the claim at 30 Gwei. That's going to cost you about $9 to $10, something like that. And of course, if you also want to mint, that's going to cost you another $9 to $10 per stake. So you don't have to mint them today. You can just claim. So you got 5 stakes. they'll be about, maybe 45, 50 bucks, something like that. At 30 Gwei, that's the way you go about it. But remember that the bonus is going down in 3 days and 21 hours. So pretty much that's cool. So once again, do your investment due diligence, but there we are. That's what it's all about. That's what the all excitement's about. And of course, people have been excited. Look at the price chart. Pretty amazing. The benefit, of course, is that this airdrop is to Hex stakers. These are people that have shown they've got, close to diamond hands, most of them. And of course, that means there's less propensity to sell. So we could see a very good chart here, possibly a chart that looks like Hex chart at the beginning. So obviously Hex launched on the 2nd of December 2019. And of course, it had little parables up. And then it started performing, I think it was April, was it, of 2020, and started up and to the right, of course, with the Hex Godwell, and away it went, right? So very, very cool. And of course, this could do something like that. But you're speculating, it's an experiment, but it is a free airdrop. It's cool, cool, cool. There's other strategies you can do. Of course, you could claim everything now. You could claim something every month. And of course, that could be like another passive income. Isn't it beautiful? And you don't have to actually sell your Hex stakes because you're getting this extra income on top. It's fantastic. So isn't it wonderful to be in this ecosystem? Really, really cool. So there's some of the things, just food for thought there, that you can do. Obviously, you can speculate and buy more Hedron. So there's lots of different options there. Nothing on this channel, of course, is investment advice. You must do, your own due diligence. Very, very cool. So that is Hedron, folks. The link is in the video description, hedron.pro, and you can check that out. Nice on that one. Let's jump over to Liquid Loan Sacrifice, do an update. Here we are, folks, into this one. And before we do that, we're going to get into some of the comments here. Completion Fail says ha ha ha, and what else we got? So Tom says your first vid was great, Craig. I can't wait for more. Message Richard for an interview. RH may need to vent. Lol, says the Tin Tops. Nice one. Craig one has got the claps on. Nice. And I want to get Hex Token to do that an interview. Maybe we can slow him down to 0.5 speed and learn more about him without doxing him. Lol, says Craig. Nice one there, Craig. And Tin Dot says now give him 2 Red Bulls and rapid fire questions at him like a electric round. Nice. I like that. Lols. All right, cool. Hey, welcome everybody. Of course, I subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. If you want to become a member of this channel, you can get some really cool emojis. And where is am I on the right channel here? Where am my channel? Yes, I'm on the right channel, but I haven't got the right place up there. So we've got some really cool emojis in here. If you want to become a Hex Token channel member, we've got Pulsechains, we've got Hexkins, and we've got the Richard Hart Club. And that, obviously, that's what we do here. We talk about that all the time. And we talk about projects that are going to come on to Pulsechain because we want mass adoption on Pulsechain. So anything that adds to the Pulsechain ecosystem, we like to talk about it here for sure. So very, very cool. And there's some of the cool emojis there. And the latest ones we've got, of course, is the 555 emoji and the Richard Hart. Of course, this is the Hex Token channel logo. And man, it looks pretty cool. So it's got Richard Hart with his old punch out there, but it's also got Hex Token on the front there. I think it looks pretty cool. Yeah, Hex4 says, did an internet money sacrifice. Woo-hoo-hoo. Yeah, so did I. I did a modest one just so I could participate. And of course, if it goes up and to the right, then I'll be pretty happy about that. So there'll be speculation on the IMD token, but there'll also be speculation on there'll also be a passive income with the PLS. And of course, you can also ride PLS up there. So kind of like a three pumpamentals there, from my view. Like I say, and hopefully they'll do some marketing with some of the funds that they get, as well as not just product development. So hopefully there's a bit of money for that. Yeah, hopefully they manage their own 19% is used for good stuff. Now, they're actually not going to be providing the pool funds for trading. Just remember that. So they're not providing funds for that. That's going to come from the market participants themselves. So just remember that is the case. Cool. What else we got? There's the emojis. Nice. Craig's got the emojis in the house. And Brazology, what I like most about Hedron is that it turned Hex into a dual token asset. And instead of selling down my Hex bags, I can sell the Hedron. This makes me think this is how the incentive token will work. Yeah, it's awesome, Brazology. And I agree with you 100% on that. So, hey, look, this is what we've got. We've got Hex. We've got Hedron. We've got, we're going to have Pulse X. We're going to have the incentive token. We're going to have the fact that these are deflationary. They're all the supplies up at the front, particularly for Pulse and Pulse X. And it's going to only go down with the feed burns and the magical buy-in burns. We've got the staking, of course, to get even more off the market. We've got staking with the validators. We've got the staking in the Pulse X. We've got liquid loans as well. And of course, that means never selling PLS. We've got Hedron, never selling Hex. or supposed to be never selling Hex, but once it settles down, I think we'll get less Hex selling. So it's going to be the way to go, right? So very, very cool. Got so many fundamentals, folks. It is mad crazy. Then of course Pulsechain itself, all the tokens trading on there, all the other projects on the planet. A small part of that magic buy and burn is going to be going back to a magical buy and burns. Of course, $1 billion traded is $600,000 worth, all to support Richard Art's tokens. And of course, we're all part of that, early adopters, early OGs. So man, it's going to be awesome. That is the quiet place right now, the quiet place. And man, getting a price of Hex at the moment, 11.7 cents, in my view, is pretty crazy. And of course, in the future, Hedron's price may look crazy low at the moment as well, despite the fact it goes up and down in pretty strong percentages at the moment. Cool. Let us jump on to the liquid loans, and we'll refresh this one more time. We're going to do this pretty fast. We're up to 45 minutes. Oh, we've got plenty of time. We've got $45.6 million at the moment. 9,170 wallets, and of course there is actually probably with the pools something 15 to 20,000 wallets somewhere, and that's my guess. The estimated supply is 1,097 billion loan tokens. At the end of the phase is 7 days and 8 hours to go, so we're almost into a week left. I can't wait for the end. And of course, not only that, but the website will be up, as Jexa says, and you'll be able to get your official sacrifice amount. So that's going to be earlier pays better, bigger pays better, longer pays better, and the referral bonus. Okay, 5% referral bonus, and maybe 10% on your own sacrifice if you are someone that's managed to get 10 referrals in there. So really, those are the 4 big things going to add up. So big best of luck to everybody that sacrificed for that. Pretty awesome. Of course, lending is one of the biggest things in finance. It's one of the biggest things in DeFi. And so we all hope that it's going to be spectacular. It's going to be starting on Pulsechain, brand new on the Pulsechain. Get to ride up the Pulsechain journey. And man, it could be insane in the membrane. The amount of US dollar equivalent value as we all measure things so often by as an upside. So it's going to be pretty cool. Obviously, we want to get a lot of people collateralized loans and get those fees in there, as well as everybody do good. And of course, people that get those collateralized loans, this is another pumpamental for Hex and Pulsechain and PulseX and stuff. They'll be able to buy more of it and push the price up even further than the magical buy and burn, the fees and everything else. Don't forget, we've got the bridge opening up, and that really is the ultimate game changer, right? People being able to bring their ERC20s over, pairing with the PRC20s, the biggest airdrop in crypto, and then putting that in yield farming with deflationary tokens. Oh my gosh, it's just a dream come true, right? And of course, that bridge potentially brings over hundreds of thousands to millions of people from not just Ethereum blockchain, but all the other blockchains. It's crazy, man. And we're in this quiet spot. Imagine a big storm. We're right in that center of the storm. It's just all quiet. We're going, hey, there's no storm around. There's no storm. But then the storm comes and you're like, flipping heck. We could, this is euphoria as we, do the hardcore boat yachting or something like that. So anyway, I'm getting a bit silly, but you get my point. Woohoo! All right, so you can get indication here with your sacrifice there. We've got the Magic Carpet Ride at $9 million. Bet out the Hex Gold Whale. First time I've seen that ever. And of course, let's see. I think they said on the channel that they took down the big giant, as it were, the Hex Gold Whale and that. So pretty funny on that one. All right, let's jump over to, I think we've got the 11th, and we've got so many here. Let me jump through this. This is how many sacrifices these guys have done. Of course, Magic Carpet Ride is a pool or a syndicate, so lots of people from around the world sacrifice using a couple of wallets. They've got 5 wallets to do that. So we're just scrolling through that at the moment too. Man, look at all these sacrifices. That's insane in the membrane for sure. Don't even think I could find it. So many with my eyes moving around here. Getting a bit dizzy looking at this. 11th, I thought was the last of 12th, 13th, 13th. There we are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the 13th. So 181, 390, 100, and 1200 there. So what's that? 13. Just under $2,000, just under $2,000 from the looks of it. Very impressive. Of course, they've got the big multiplier. So remember, there's earlier pays better, bigger pays better. They've got the bigger pays better multiplier between 2.2 and 2.5. So pretty awesome. All right, so you can see that it's sort of tapered off. Yesterday we were at 41,646. Today we're at 45,707. So that's up about 60 grand, and between the 11th and the 12th. Nice. All right, so cool. And of course, we're going to jump through all that. This is the third component, longer pays better. And of course, this has been a very successful feature. And of course, the Hex Gold Whale is in the end. So the Hex Gold Whale does not get its loan tokens out for 2 years. and of course $17.7 million the sacrifice for that long time. Because they deferred their gratification of getting the loan tokens, they will get 150% more volume. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see whether people in this candle up here, which is $17 million worth, they're going to be able to get their loan tokens immediately. And of course, they're going to be able to stake their earn USDL and PLS fees. And of course, it's going to be interesting to see whether they outdo the people in the long term. Because obviously, Pulse and loan token value is going to take time to ramp up. But man, oh man, it's going to be interesting to see which one does better out of that at the end of the day. So cool. Because we'll only probably have maybe, I don't know, 25% or something like that of the volume being stakeable, we may only see about 70-80% of that get staked. And of course, that's even better, right? So even though we've got an estimated 1.1 trillion loan tokens, we might only see maybe 200 billion in the market or something. I don't know. It's going to be crazy. I haven't done the math on that. Just giving you some quick off the top of the head sort of numbers there. All right. So the wallets, of course, in here, we won't talk about that today, but we've got the big pie chart here, 23% in the Magic Carpet Ride team. There's a pool or a syndicate of wallets. So it's not just one big whale. There's a whole, probably thousands of people in it. And of course, we've got the Hex Gold Whale here at 19.62%. But those tokens, as I say, aren't coming out for 2 years. So nice. We're ramping up the days here. We're obviously in day we've got 7 days to go after this. You currently earlier pays better. There's the earlier pays better chart. 5,300 loan tokens per dollar. And of course, tomorrow that's going to be 5,050. So down 250 tomorrow. If you miss out, but you've still got a few hours to go, 7 hours to go or so. The last day is going to be, probably use this chart's a bit better. Last day is going to be 3,768 loan tokens per dollar. So at the moment, 5,300. The last day, 3,768. So earlier definitely pays better. Very, very cool. I know most of you have sacrificed for this. This obviously has been super popular there. 45.5 million. Nice. Let's jump over quickly to the Mintra one. This is Dorado's one with the NFT marketplace. Obviously, going to be 2 NFT marketplaces at least. This one and PowerCity. I imagine this one will probably get up and running first, is my estimate, but I could be wrong about that. So we'll see. Because PowerCity is doing 4 or 5 projects. This is just doing the one. 10.5 million, and of course 2,900 wallets. There's 1,805,000,000 mint tokens, so much smaller there. 4 days and 12 hours to go until the end of the sacrifice. So this one's ending soon. You can get an estimate with your address there if you paste that in. This is on hexpulse.info. So hexpulse.info, folks, if you want to get access to that. And of course, Hex Gold Whale's also on this one. And of course, $1 million is in there from somebody else. So nice. Cool. Now let's have a look at the top 50, and $1,100 to get in the top 500 wallets there, and you get about 100. Depends on what you get, but you get 106,000 points or 123, depending on what you've done there. Now this one also benefits as well from something else. I can't remember what it was, but it does. The totals, of course, have flattened off. You can see the flattened off there. And the number of wallets won't go through that. It's a lot of small wallets in this one. Really is dominated by the Hex Gold Whale, 49% of the supply. So remember, about 20% of Hedron, but 2 years delayed. But in Mintra, the NFT platform, about 50%, 49% of it is the Hex Gold Whale. And of course, they'll be getting about half a percentage points of the total revenue, or basically in fees. So I think the fee's going to be about 2.25. Half of that's going to go to people that hold mint tokens, and of course the Hex Gold Whale owns half of that. So they'll probably get about 0.6% of all the revenue in terms of fees. So amazing on that. Very, very cool. And of course, we're in the last couple of days. Woo-hoo-hoo. Today, for earlier pays better, you get 55.68 mint tokens per dollar. Tomorrow you'll get 53. So that drops down by about 2.6, and then the last day is going to be 45.8 for a dollar. Pretty cool on that. Like I say, I think this is super successful. I think that the upside, of course, if they can get mass adoption, obviously Dorado is one of the biggest YouTube channels, and of course if he works with people like HODL and stuff like that, they could dominate in the top class of YouTube channels. Obviously we're trying to get this channel up into the middle of the pack. We just got into the bottom of the middle of the pack now. Hey, big shout out, of course, we've hit 3,400 subscribers, so thanks to all the subscribers. And of course, we're trying to head to that middle mark. Middle mark's kind of around about 7,500 in terms of the channels. And then, of course, once we get over that 10,000, you get up with the bigger teams there. I see that Crypto Coffee is kind of at the top there. I think it's about the crossover 20,000. We've got Hodl Dog, we've got Gerardo, and I think I think even Pulsechain is up there as well. So those are the top leaders there. So we'll keep pushing. But that's kind of where the big promoters are at the moment. Obviously, as Pulsechain comes out, it's going to be insane, the number of people coming into the community. It's going to be explosive, not only just for the prices of the assets, but also for the content creators as well. So it's going to be pretty cool. Remember, it's going to be the biggest airdrop in crypto history, the biggest yield farm in crypto history, and of course the fastest way to mass adoption. And that's just some of the fundamentals. It's going to be insane in the membrane for sure. All right, so cool. Let's jump over to the final one, and of course we're going to get on to PowerCity. Woohoo! So PowerCity had a big milestone today. Of course, $1 million has been hit. That's a big jump. So 1,000 wallets as well. So two little milestones there. They've got 2.4 million watt tokens. So actually quite a small supply. So this is actually kind of cool. I like this. And this could do actually really well. I actually really like PowerCity. I'm gonna have to really think. I haven't actually sacrificed for it yet, but I actually like it a lot. In fact, I probably in some ways I like it more than internet money. But I have sacrificed a moderate amount for internet money, but mostly because the tokenomics is quite limited. But this is kind of limited too. So I'm going to definitely reassess my evaluation on this one. They've still got 2 days and 20 hours to go before to get the earlier pays better. And of course, they also have a benefit if you have sacrificed for Pulsex, Pulsechain, internet money, and I think there's one more other. I can't remember what that one is, but we'll get to that. Let me just pull up the PowerCity. I'm pretty sure. Let's do that accurately. I'm going to click on the sacrifice now and scroll down. Yeah, Pulsechain, I understand. Pulsex, Liquid Lines. Sorry, Liquid Lines was the other one. So, and internet money, which is only open today, just open. So cool. You get up to 55% if you've done all four. You have to use the same wallet though. You have to use the same wallet sacrificed if you're going to get this. That's to know what you've sacrificed for. All right. So cool. And of course, there we are. At the moment, you get two watt tokens per dollar. And of course, these guys are doing multiple things. As I say, they are going to be doing. They've got Power Core. So all the revenue kind of goes into the Power Core. That's what pays you out kind of thing. They're going to have a transformer bridge, which is awesome, and multi-chain as well. They're going to have NFT marketplace. Of course, that's going to compete with Gerardo's one for Mintra, but that looks pretty cool. They're also going to have NRG nodes, of course, and nodes as a service DeFi. And of course, a big one here is the accelerated yield compounder. Obviously, I said that hundreds of thousands of yield farmers are going to come over to Pulsechain for the Pulsex, and of course, the big airdrop. So also having an accelerated yield compounder is a pretty big deal in that too. And of course, there's also going to comply front end to liquid loans, which is awesome. So it's going to help out with that. So cool. PowerCity Metaverse, of course, with the VR access. That's going to be a bit of extra fun, bit of entertainment on top of that. So pretty nice there, folks. So lots more features. Obviously, with more products means more resources, more work. And of course, compared to Mintra, it's just got the one NFT marketplace. So, there's execution things there as well. Cool. The top wallets, of course, much smaller on this one, 47,000, 28,000, etc. And of course, the top 50 there, $271. So that has been rising, $271 to get in the top 500. That gets you about 600 points there, 600 watt tokens, I should say. Sacrifice US dollar volume is, as I say, just leveling off there, but we had quite a good jump in the last couple of days. It's quite a good jump. And what else we got here? So it's jumping up there. And as I say, the wallets are much smaller, generally speaking. Top wallets here in the 50 and 25 here. So much smaller sacrifice. The distribution is the best out of them all so far. Of course, internet money may rival them for this, but look at the distribution, looks fantastic. Of course, we saw how the Magic Carpet Pool and of course Hex Godwell and a few other millionaires dominate the other projects. This is actually a very nice distribution of ownership. So nice. Sacrifice points, of course, it's got 2 more days or so to go, and then it's going to go down by 0.25 each day following. Final day, of course, you're going to get 1 for 1, and it ends on the 5th of April. So you got a little bit of time if you are deciding. So have I. I haven't decided yet on this one. So cool. So that's on the PowerCity, folks, and a huge congrats, $1 million. That's a really cool milestone. Of course, internet money is also up here. Let's check what they've got at the moment. 1,210,000. Very, very cool. They're now in Pool B. Of course, Pool B here means that every 100,000 opens up 1 percentage point more. Remember, the 70.8% has already been sewn up on that. And of course, every 1% is going to open up to 10%. So it's another $1 million for the final 10%. So the maths is a little different, but you get my point. Pretty cool. All right. What does that say here? Every 100K sacrifice thereafter is an additional 1% unlocked. This rate will continue until 10% is unlocked. Once 10% is unlocked, there will be no cap on the total sacrifice. The 10% will be distributed proportionally to the individual sacrificed amount in a pool B. All right, cool. Woo-hoo-hoo. All right, nice. Okay, so that's the people that actually sacrifice in pool B. All right, so if you're sacrificing now, you're in pool B. It's basically the way I read that. So cool. What else we got? If sacrifice pool A is full before April the 14th, which it has, sacrifice pool B will open immediately upon pool A being filled. Pool B will stay open with no monetary cap for 5 days. Any sacrifices received at the end of the 5th day after pool B opens will be returned to the wallet address that sent them, minus gas fees for the return. Just remember that. But there's a cool calculator here. You can play around with it, with the expected fees that you might earn, the amount of tokens that you might get, etc., based on how much is sold so far. So we turn this into 1012. Let me just do it again. 1012. Yeah, that's all right. No, that's wrong. All right, let me just do it again. 1012. No, that's wrong again. All right, 10123. Yeah, all right. I did it live stream. That was live stream because I wasn't looking at my keys, but there we are. All right, enough silliness now. Let's say you do a $1,000 sacrifice. So that's a 70 point. It's still got showing 7.8 there. I'm not sure what that's just on the pool A. So anyway, well, let's just say that you're doing. It doesn't seem to work. I thought it was going to pull over into pool B, but of course it doesn't do anything like, because pool A by itself is standalone. So 70.8%. You get 1.18 million IMD tokens. And that let's assume that it was a $10,000 a day earned. I'm not sure how that compares to MetaMask. I think MetaMask was 80,000 a day or something. I'm not sure what the fees they're making on that. I have to double check. But they did comment on the live show on Magic Cup Rights. If you do recall what he said, let me know. But anyway, that would be $177. So cool. I did think he mentioned $10,000 a day. I think that's about a tenth of what they're earning on MetaMask. So that could happen. Prana's in the house. Yo. Hey, Prana, good to see you. And Miles of Crypto says, sup, homie. Says, good to see you in the house as well. And Craig Wedding says, I'm going to sleep for 6 months. Someone wake me up when we are whales. Thanks. It's kind of like that, isn't it, Craig? It's kind of like that. Go to sleep and wake up later on. Obviously, Richard Hart always says, don't trade, don't do this. Just wait and in time. It's time in the market, not timing the market. So there's a lot of truth to that. Tintos, yep. And what else goes? Brazology says, that sounds like a good idea until you wake up and realize you lost your 10x multiplier. Yeah, that's the only exception I would say. But I think, Pranus says, how do you guys keep up with so many new projects in Pulse? Well, fortunately, we've got this website, which is really cool. So looking good there. All right, so let's jump over to Pulsechain. Pulsechain is up to 718 million transactions on Pulsechain Testnet 2. And I think we're on about day 92, if I remember rightly, maybe day 92, something like that. So over 3 months now on Pulsechain Testnet 2. We're expecting Pulsechain Testnet 2.5 or 2B to come out in the next couple of days. So that's going to be good. And this has gone pretty well. We've had the minimum viable product. That means we've had go.hex.com. We've had Pulsex. We've had validators. We've had all the good stuff there, the bridges, everything on there, the Uniswap version 2, they're all working well on there, so it's really good. We know that Pulsex is basically done, and so we've got the 2.5 coming out. Really, we're going to have pretty much let's put it in easy terms, we're going to have half the AMM bot testing on a 2.5, and of course the distribution files for Pulse and Pulsechain, Pulsex and Pulsechain, so it's going to be awesome to see those. And of course, we're going to have an updated block as well. So that means if you've got assets in your wallet, that should get concluded, and you'll be able to play around on Pulsechain Testnet 2.5 with your assets on the Pulsechain that you have on Ethereum. So that should be really cool. And that's what's going to happen. So hopefully that'll be short, maybe, I don't know, maybe a week or two. I've got it in there for two weeks, and then maybe Pulsechain Testnet 3 starts. That's another 2 weeks, and that has the full AMM bot run, including version 3 Uniswap, which is kind of the big hurdle at the moment, I would say. And of course, once we get across that, that's say another month, and that's where I get to the earliest date. This is the key earliest date of being launched is 15th of April. So that's the earliest date that I can see. We also need the final block height for the biggest airdrop in crypto history, and of course the actual launch. So we've got fundamental stuff there that's really going to pump, get this green candle moving up in a big way. At the moment, of course, we're in the quiet spot here. And of course, we've also got as a cool distraction, I should say, Hedron, which is pretty cool. We're currently at 5,000 at the moment on this, 5,000. So nice. Very cool on that. So we'll get rid of all that, pull that up. So that is Hedron at the moment. Lots of drama with that for sure. All right, so let's get into the final topic. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Then we're going to do a bit of FAQ, some question time. But here it is, folks. So here's our man Lit here. My life is awesome. Obviously, one of a pretty big YouTuber. I think he's just shy of 10,000 subscribers. He may actually hit it. So he's almost up in that top echelon. He's at the very top of the middle range, as I call it. This is just from a YouTube point of view. Of course, I'm at the bottom here, 3,400, trying to get to the top. And of course, he's about to jump over into the top there. But of course, he's been off for a couple of months. He's been taking care of his mother. I have done that myself, so I'm very, understanding of his situation he's in. And of course, many of you out there have probably done that too, as well. And of course, he's had to go through that. So he's just come back. Of course, he's did a video recently where last couple of days. So if you can check it out on My Life is Awesome. And of course, he's done a request to help him out. He's become the attorney. The attorney for his mother's estate, pretty much. I've just forgotten the phrase for that for some reason. But he is. The bank has basically said this is childhood family home that there's I think there's $200,000 something like that owing on it, and it needs to be paid back in about 45 days. So he's done a little call for action to help him out with that. Yes, get up some Patreon and stuff like that. So definitely check that out. And if you want to support that, it's cool. But here we have Rack and Rochelle, the venture capitalist, one of our very biggest whales. And of course, Rack and Rochelle has gone from a background of being on the street to being a very wealthy individual, a very successful individual, and obviously has helped Hex. It's been an awesome whale for Hex. Has helped Hex go higher too. And it's also going to do that for Pulse and Pulsechain. So it's very nice. So here he is pretty much put out Lit. I do believe that you bless both Funding Jim. Of course, we call Funding Jim on this channel, the whale liaison. And of course, myself, when you streamed with About Us. You're just a cool guy. I propose this, Gary Funding Jim, and I split the cost of the payoff of your house. Exologists can oversee it. What say you? We discuss it here. I'm ready to go. So this is a beautiful thing, of course, and this would protect his childhood home. I think it's pretty nice from My Life is Awesome. Now, My Life also is going to look to do free life coaching. That's what he does, life coaching. So he's going to be looking to turn that from a paid service to a free service, because obviously this is his priority, is to get this to save his family home, so that it doesn't get liquidated by the bank. Cool. So Rack and Michelle's got some other comments here. 6 hours ago, I'll cover 50% of the mortgage. Funding Jim pays the other half. Let's roll. I think that was kind of some of the comments he had there. And he's got in here 4 hours ago, just waiting for Hexologist to let me know when Funding Jim sends his half, ready to go here. So really is mounting up there. I think that was it. Joker's down there saying I would cover this live. I think that was pretty awesome. Let's jump back up here. I think that was, I think those are the last comments. So we'll definitely keep a lookout for this. But what a big heart. This is a big part of the Hex community, Pulsechain, Pulsex community is changing crypto, paying it forward, helping others. And of course, I think that's pretty awesome, right? Culture of helping others. Of course, if we're successful, helping others, making the world a better place, I think that's pretty awesome. So big shout out to Rack and Rochelle, and of course, Funding Jim, and of course, My Life is Awesome. So very, very cool. It's going to be fun to see that play out. And of course, nice. Very cool. All right. So looking good there, folks. Let's get into the chat, see what's going on there. We've got a bit of a Q&A time. So if you've got any questions, let me know in the chat there. Wait, there's a 10x multiplier. Yeah. So Hedron at the moment is a 9x multiplier. So if you go down to the bottom here, you can see that when you claim The launch bonus is a 10x multiplier. And of course, that's to receive your Hedron tokens. There's a calculator down the bottom here. And of course, it has B shares. So if you've got 1 T share or trillion shares in Hex is 1,000 B shares. So you could put that in there. That's one T share, 1,000 B shares. At the moment, the 10x multiplier is gone. Every 10 days, it goes down by 1x. So at the moment, it's 9x. So you can't claim the 10x anymore. And about 3 days' time, it will only be 8x. So it's better to lock it in now. You lock this in for the life of the stake. So it doesn't matter when you mint your tokens, you're going to get that 9x multiplier. So if you've got a 1,000-day stake and you've got, let's say you got let's do it better. Let's go, you've got a 10-year stake. So we'll go 3, 6, 4, 4, 1 or something like that. And then, of course, let's say that you've served, what day is it now? Day 833 and Hex journey. Let's say you did this on day 1 of Hex. Let's say that's day 833 and you lock in a 9x bonus. Of course, you for the life of it, you will get this much Hedron. So how much is that? 1, 2, 3, 8.3. Yeah, 8.3 million Hedron there for the 1 T share from the looks of it. So cool. Obviously, if you had this 555-day stake, that's just for the 833 days, by the way. So let's say you had a 555-day stake. No, let's do 555. Let's do 555, and let's say that you had served all your days of your stake. Let's say you served every single day 5,555 days. You lock in your 9x. We'll calculate that now. You're going to get 55.5 million Hedron. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? So if you take too long and you wait to the end and had a 1x, you're going to get was it 1.1 million? I think that's right. You're going to you're going to get 11 million. 11 million if you wait that long. But if you get the 9x, obviously, and calculate it again, you're going to get 55 million. So a huge amount higher there, folks. So definitely don't miss out on that. Cool. So definitely lock in your claim. Now, all you have to do is hook up your wallet. You'll see your stakes over to the right here. You just have to hit the claim button to lock in that 9x bonus for life of the stake. Obviously, if you that's the case, so just remember that you do not have to mint the tokens. You don't have to mint them if you're going to sell them, right? That's kind of the logic there. So just remember that. You can add your Hedron to the MetaMask here, and of course that will show up the tokens on the MetaMask. Otherwise, it's going to be on the blockchain. Everything gets recorded on the blockchain. Very, very cool. Hey, Hex is having a little pump here. Let's move to the hourly. I think it's having a little comeback here. Yay, Hex having a little comeback. Woo, DCA. Nice. I love it. All right, cool. Brazil says, yeah, that's what the claim button does. Locks in the multiplier on Hedron, absolutely. And Craig says, oh man, I did all that already. Lol, claimed them all, the little babies. You probably got a 10x, Craig. You probably got 10x from 10 days ago. Brazil says, nice, all right, now go to bed. Yeah. You can wake up in 6 months. But hey, Craig, if you're going to do that, who's going to do Gen Hex? Who's going to do Gen Hex YouTube? Brian says, oh, MVP, my bad. Right. And Preside's got the lol in the house. Miles of Crypto says, what's everyone suggest for a new YouTube streamer? OBS. Yeah, OBS is cool. I'm using StreamYard. It's kind of easy to set up, but it has got limited UI at the moment. Hopefully they're going to upgrade that. I think they have a professional level, but I'm not sure if there's any extra features in there. But OBS is what I use to start off with. You do have to place things a lot more in it, but it is quite kind of cool. There's OBS and then there's OBS streamers. I think it's like the next level. But I had a bit of problem with that on YouTube using some of the game kind of UI. It's a little bit more troublesome there. Yeah, that's a good comment. Tim Top says PowerCity looks good. I'm skipping that sack too for Hex. Yeah, that's right, Tim Top. So getting Hex, getting Pulse Hex, they're the high probability ones. Like I said, these other projects, they're great to have on Pulsechain. I like to talk about them, but they are higher risk, higher return. Not higher return, but the higher risk, possibly better returns. It just depends on how they play out. I don't actually think Pulse and Pulsechain, PulseX and Pulsechain and Hex are just going to blow your mind with the returns. So I don't see, it's going to be very hard challenging them. But it's nice to have a little diversification in the portfolio. So like I say, I would probably have the majority in those three and Richard Hart projects, and then have maybe set aside just a little bit for speculation in some of these other projects. But like I say, you need to think about it, how they're going to get actual adoption. That's probably the number one thing. And of course, number two, of course, can they deliver the product? Those are the two things that you probably want to take care of there. Hey, 12 cents. We hit 12 cents on Hex. Woo-hoo-hoo. We're back. back on the uptrend. All right, I love it. I love it. All right, so cool on that. Now, Billy Bob's in the house. Say, Hex Token channel member too. And more promise coins. Good luck. I think some of you have way too much dollars, says Billy Bob. Yeah, that's probably true too. Ninja Chopstick says, tickle that like button. Absolutely smash the sub, says Ninja. Absolutely subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. And of course, that's the way to go. All right, poor man's investing. I ended a huge stake and didn't know about Hedron. Oh, no. Yeah, so that's what happens. You've got to mint your Hedron before you end your stakes, folks. You get all Hedron on all the days served. So it's a kind of a good insight there from poor man. Unfortunately, Phil, that's just the way it goes. So sorry about that, poor man. But hey, new stakes, you can always borrow against them. That's got its own dynamics to it. Prana says, me too. Oh, you did too, Prana. Oh, wow. Yeah, make sure, folks out there, that if you have got a stake that's ending, to mint your Hedron first before you end stake your Hex stake. And of course, the best time for gas prices typically is on Sundays between 1 and 3 a.m. UTC time. So just remember that if you are thinking of lower gas. But lately, of course, the gas prices have been pretty good. At the moment, the gas is 33%, but it was down at 18 or 16 earlier. So it has been much better lately. Cool. We are in half bear market conditions. I guess maybe that's impacting it. So maybe the NFTs have pulled off a little bit. I don't know, but that's the way it goes. Pranam says, yes, still a 9x multiplier for now. Absolutely. So you do have how many? You got this many days left for that. As I said, you got 3 days and 20 hours left to get the lock in. Make sure you claim every stake with the 9x, and it doesn't matter when you mint them in the future. The more days you served, the higher the amount of Hedron you're going to get times 9x. So it's a big deal. In the future, after the 100 days is finished, there's no claim button. So all stakes, the people that haven't claimed on the Hex, which is a big majority of Hex stakes, they won't be able to mint them. Obviously, the Origin account and the Hex Gold Whale have minted, so that's why we have a big, huge supply. And I think it's close to 64 trillion, is it? Let me just put the menu on here on the right, and let's go check out how much the volume of Hedron is at the moment. Like I say, this chart's more likely to do really well because of the diamond hands in Hex as Hex stakers, and of course most of this Hedron has gone to Hex stakers. So that's a real upside to the price longer term. Cool. All right. So yeah, we've got what's the total here? 64 trillion. Woohoo! That's amazing. And of course, the vast majority sitting in the Origin accounts and the Hex Gold Whales and things like that. And yeah, big shout out there. So cool. As I say, anything in the top 3 pages could really, if they sold down, can really impact the Hedron price. Just take that into account. So 31 million there can really, impact it. Obviously, as we go up to page 2 here, and at the bottom is 72. You imagine 72 billion Hedron selling. It's quite a big deal. So what's that? $357,000 US. That's quite a big deal. And of course, if we look at the pool is sitting at around about 1.7 million at the moment. So 300, take it 140. That changes the ratio around a lot. The other thing, of course, that changes the pool ratio is this is just the version 3 pool, but it is the main pool last time I checked. So yeah, that's the way it goes. So just be cautious of that. But once again, I do think that a lot of these wallets will just hold for a long time, and they probably just sell down a little bit. That's what I think that you probably get most of the time. Of course, you're going to get some that are going to sell down. You get particularly these wallets here. You could get some of these selling down. But once again, Hex has the best stakers, right? Long-term stakers, and of course on Hedron they'll also have that too. Now that obviously, that's just the way it goes. So we'll watch it. I think it's the pump mental is definitely a big pump mental. Is the Hex culture of staking long-term. It's probably the way I'll summarize that up. Nice. All right, so cool. 4,900 on Hedron. Let us get into here. T says, much respect for taking care of your mother. Very admirable. Yeah, hey, look, it's an honor. Obviously, My Life is Awesome said that his mother was just amazing, incredible. My mother was a super mother. She was just amazing. And of course, it was just an honor. And I'm sure for, the vast majority of people, looking after their mother is a great honor. It's just something. It's very depending what they're going through too, as they move on, as it were. It does impact how that process falls, but definitely was an honor to do that, to serve my mother as it was. Craig Wallen says maybe I'll find a guy on Fiverr to pretend to be me for Gen X. Like, yeah, you could do that. You could have a different person every day. From getting $5 a day. can do it like that. Or maybe $2. I don't know what they cost over there now. AK says Hedron, even a full retest of bottom is not out of the question. By the way, Legacy will open red today, possibly scare and dump the incoming, says AK. Yeah, hey, anything's in the game on the market, regardless of the fact that, you know, it is Hex stakers that own a lot. There are a lot of speculators, of course. Hex and Hedron were trending on crypto.com, and of course, a lot of speculators have come in to buy Hedron cheaper and then buy it in the market. So it's not just Hex stakers that have got Hedron. There are speculators in the market that help move this price along. So a good point there, AK. Brazaji says, check out the internet money debank, the wallet emptied, and switch over to Pool B. Let's do it. Brazaji's in the house. We love Brazaji. Here we go. And we're going to reset this. Bam. 65,000 in Pool B. Nice. So big shout out there. And obviously every 100,000 is going to go 1% more in the Pool B. So cool. Now, I understand they're separate pools, right? So if you sacrifice from Pool A, you're in that. If you sacrifice Pool B, in that. So I'm pretty sure that's the case. Brazaji can confirm that with me, but I'm pretty sure that's my understanding as we read the site there on this one here. Yeah, so Pool A is filled before April the 14th, which it has been. Pool B will open immediately upon Pool A being filled. Pool B will stay open with no monetary cap for 5 days. So no monetary cap, which kind of means that it could go even higher and higher and higher. So really getting in that Pool A was pretty fundamental from the looks of it. Any sacrifice received at the end of the 5th day after Pool B opens will return to the wallet. So there's a 5-day. So there's no monetary cap. There's a 5-day cap, a time cap from the looks of it. So cool. Once the 1.2 million is sacrificed, all additional funds pour over to Pool B. So really, these were the kind of the early adopters, really, and then these kind of the second phase adopters. And then, of course, when you hit the market, then of course everybody else can get access to it. So if they think it's really huge. Now these guys are going to benefit of all the projects that we're looking at are going to benefit from when the bridge opens up. And of course, we'll probably have multiple bridges. Obviously, PowerCity is looking to do a multi-chain bridge. It's not just going to be the official bridge, but many other bridges in the place. And of course, that's also going to fuel demand for these particular projects. They all benefit being early projects on there, particularly having a wallet that people might want to use as well on Pulsechain. So it's going to be interesting to see it play out, folks. Very exciting. And Ahmed's in the house. Hey, Ahmed, good to see you. Hello. And welcome, Ahmed. Precisely, the history tab on Debank shows all the moves. Interesting. Really, does it? Let's have a look here. What's the history here? There's the history tab. Bam. All right, so what have we got there? Okay, we've got all the stuff coming in, I guess. 2 minutes, 3 minutes ago. So lots of different stuff coming in here. USDC, DAI, Hex in there. Like I say, the only thing that I was a little bit upset by was the Hex being in there. I really don't like Hex being sacrificed, unless, of course, it's going to the sacrifice wallet, because it's going off the market, right? It's going off the market. But these guys did say that they would manage the Hex that they get. Obviously, the other ones, like liquid loans, was stable coins, right? So obviously, they had some impact on Hex as people, if they sold Hex into stable coins. But once again, other than that, these guys are mostly accepting stable coins. You can see that people are actually seeing DAI, USDC, and their Ethereum as well. I like that. I think they could have done that. Obviously, I guess if they're accepting Hex on one hand, of course, people aren't selling the Hex to buy stable coins to pay these guys like that effect. So I guess it does offset that. And of course, my guess is that they'll hold on to the Hex as long as possible, is probably the case. And of course, they can ride the Hex price up as we talk about the Hex. If we're expecting the Hex price to ride up, especially as Pulsechain comes, then they could actually make a ton of money, right? A ton of money, if it gets back to all-time high. So if it's at 11.3, say make 5x on that, that'd be a huge sacrifice for them. So not only would it be getting 1.2 million, they'll be getting, could be getting 5 million, 6 million out of it at least on that. So that's the other side of it too. So it's not all bad from that point of view. All right, cool. 65. Oh, we got 5,900. What happened there? Wallet 4? What the heck is this? I'm not sure what that is. So did we start again? Have we got the next 100K? Is that what happens? Is this what happens here? The next 100K? We've lost that one. What happened there? Have we started on this next 100K? Is that what we've done? What happened? Oh, we're in the history there. Maybe that's it. No? Okay. Another wallet. I thought we're on the next 100,000 and it's jumped to another wallet here. Let me know what you think about that, Prisology. Sachin says, I hate these sacrifices. Holy crap. People selling Hex for some crap coins. Hey, Sachin. Hey, that's a valid criticism. And of course, as I was saying on this channel, You know, the highest probability is with Hex, Pulsechain, and Pulsex, and of course, funneling as much capital into that is really important. However, on top of that, of course, we do need mass adoption onto Pulsechain, and that's going to help pump our bags in the medium long term. So that is also positive. So that's an important part. All right, so we do get a bit of balance. Obviously, in the short term, we're having a little bit of Hedron in particular. Hedron's actually probably had a bigger impact in the short term. I'm not sure how much. I don't think we were getting much selling for the internet money, but certainly the liquid loans, we've probably had an impact on Hex from liquid loans for sure. Not probably, we did. So it is a bit of that. Brazology says they keep moving funds out, says Brazology. I see. I thought they may have moved on to the next 200,000 something, but that's kind of weird. All right, cool. Let us get on to, I think have we got an update on this chat site? Let's refresh this, see whether this is actually caught up or not. It's got to 1.2 million, so it looks like it's almost caught up with the dollars there. So yeah, USDC Ether there, not bad at all. All right, so very, very cool, folks. We're recovering, and someone just sold some Hex. How about that? We're actually going to end up with a green candle. I should have finished the live stream 5 minutes ago. Someone just sold a big amount of Hex there. We were actually going up. We had a big buy of Hex here, and then someone just sold a big amount of Hex there. I don't think it was the same account. No. So let's have a look at the whale bot, see whether that's showing up as well. Yeah, 23 seconds ago, a big sell. Why they're selling at this time? Insane, eh? Insane. Why you sell at the time? We've got Pulsechain coming. And of course, I guess we've got, maybe if it's a month away, that's that gap, right? That gap that's causing issues there. So anyway, they sold 6 million Hex there. They won't get a copy of that on the Pulsechain, of course. And what have they done with it? Hard to tell. They've put it into USDC, but I'm not sure where that's gone to. 1.2 million there. So boom. All right. So looks like what they've done, a multi-call of the Hex there. So wow. Okay. Let's see what they've got in there. They've got now put 1.1 million in there. We've got they've still got 19 million Hex left. Oh my gosh, really? So let's see how they go there. What else? Oh, they did more than that. They did what's that? 4, 7.5, 8. So what are they? 7.5, 8, 9, 10. About 10 million Hex just sold, folks. There we are. All right. That's just how that goes, and we're back down at 11.4 cents. Come on, we want to continue the uptrend. So push the uptrend up, folks. Put the uptrend as well. Now, I don't know if was that the same whale? Was it the same whale as we had previously? Didn't even check that, to be honest. It's just the one that's been selling us down. They were at 120 million. Not sure if they had much Hex left at all. Let's just double check that actually while I'm here. What did I say? How much Hex they had? We'll go into there, and finally, yeah. Oh, 8 million. Okay, 8 million. Was that another wallet? That's another wallet, isn't it? I know, 2 minutes ago. Oh, they just sold another 10 million. What the heck? They are sane, and they just sold another 10 million Hex. That's insane. All right, so it looks like hopefully they've sold themselves out just about. Eh? Hopefully they've sold themselves out. So 20 million Hex they just sold. Crazy. They got 8.4 million Hex left. Out, get out. We want you out now while the price is low. You get out. You're going to ruin our uptrend, man. Insane. So we're down 11.5 there. Fortunately, they're trading it across the pools, most of it. But yeah, that's the way it goes. We can enhance it. Oh, that was just market sold, I think, was it? Yeah, market sold. That's insane, was it? Or did they buy that? Or did they buy? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. All right, cool. Let us jump over to the markets there, and that's that. All right, cool. All right, so we're still sitting at 11.5 cents. Of course, that's where we are. All right, and Hedron sitting at 4,900. All right, cool. All right, coming up on half an hour. Let's do a couple more comments. Sachin says, can you please look into Hex price analysis? How low do you think we're going? Look at, I keep buying the dip and it keeps dipping. It's frustrating, says Sachin. Hey, Sachin, I did talk about the price review earlier in the video. So you pretty much look at that. It's not really changed. Even with this whale just selling now, it hasn't really changed. The key thing, we really don't, 10.8 cents is really a key part. We don't really want to get down that low. Of course, that makes it more likely we'll break 10 cents and then have the bear scenario. So yesterday, it was a 10% chance of an 8 cent scenario. Of course, we get down to 10.8, we're back up to about 30% chance of an 8-cent scenario. I don't really want that. I know some people do, but I don't really want to see that in the chat, because as soon as you get down to 8 cents, then you bring in 3 cents. I don't want to bring in 3 cents. So yeah, I'd really like to say that. And of course, on the hourly daily chart there, we have had, we've had our long-legged doji. We've had the uptrend confirmation the following day, and then the next day was pretty good too. But like I say, we've had some OGs and some Hedron selling, Hedron swapping. Those are the two issues that have stopped us breaking out. We would have broken out otherwise, as I say. Insane seller says Brazil, absolutely insane. Of course, they're not going to get a copy of the Hex on the Pulsechain, and of course, if they've got that much, that's better they get out at this price, to be honest. Obviously, I say that, but I don't want the structure of the price to go too low. Does that make sense? So I want them to get out, but not the price go too low. Some people think that if we go to 8 cents, 3 cents, we're going to get rid of a lot of these liquid whales. I don't see that happening. I think that these guys will go, well, it's too low for even me to sell out, and I'm just going to hold my bags, get the copy in the Pulsechain, and I know it's going to return. So I'm not in that camp of saying let's just get a huge capitulation and we'll get a lot of these big whales out. We won't. We'll get a lot of the plebs out. A lot of the plebs, smaller wallets will get out. They'll go, oh my gosh, it's going to zero. You know what I mean? And they'll get out. So that's kind of where I'm at on that. Brazil says, I think it could hit $1 in the next year. Yeah, me too. Vinek says, this year, woohoo. Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Morris Williams says, whoop, whoop. They are driving the price down to 10 cents. As Morris has got his limit order set up there to pick up some X, I'm sure. So he's pretty excited. Nice. All right. So looking good, folks. We're hour and 30 into the live stream. Hex, Pulsechain, Pulsex. That's the main game in the house. Now, as I say, we do need mass adoption on the Pulsechain, so I'm happy to talk about all the sacrifices. Some of them I participate in, some of them I do not. And, of course, you have to do your own investment due diligence. But they are coming onto Pulsechain. They are adding value. We've got NFT marketplaces coming on, wallets coming on. These are important solutions that we need on Pulsechain. So it is going to be good. Most guys, yeah, got the limit. I was just guessing on the limit orders there, Morris, but the fact that you were excited about 10 cents, I figured you might have your little limit on there. Now, you can obviously, to do that, you can use 1inch or Matcha.io. You can use that, Matcha.io. Yeah, I think it's 1inch or whatever. You can use Matcha and 1inch. So nice. Just make sure you check the dots, the .coms or whatever, the .ios or whatever, XYZ, I think it is. Nice. As opposed to market buying. As opposed to market buying on Uniswap is what I'm talking about. Cool. Let's jump in on the internet money and just see what that's at, 7,500. I'm not sure what they're doing with that, but the total, of course, is actually probably pretty decent. This probably is representing what they got. So, yeah, they're sitting over 1.2 million. They're in B pool now, B pool. So that's cool. So I did a little bit of sacrifice, very moderate, nothing that's going to be rocking the world, but I did take a little position on here. And of course, that's part of the 70.8%. So glad I got on there. I actually got some of it in just on time there. So cool. Early on, and so I had topped up a little bit. I was going to do a real small amount, but then ended up topping up on it. I don't know. I just changed my mind during the live stream. Sachin says, so it is safe to say we could be looking at 8-10 cents. Not quite yet. We're not quite in that scenario yet. If we get down to 10.8 cents, I'd be a bit worried because that's where we had our long-legged doji. So at the moment, it's still not in the game. I'm still in the uptrend phase on the X price. But once again, we would be broken out. But of course, as I said, the Hedron profiteering and of course the two Hex OGs have stopped us from doing that at the moment. They're selling out. So for whatever reasons but we're still okay at this stage. Like I say, we're still close, 0.5% away from changing the probabilities. On my opinion, these are just my opinions. But 0.5% away. Of course, it's not inevitable we'll go there. And that's why I'm not willing to call them yet. But tomorrow, we should have the information to know where we are going to be, at least maybe even the next few hours. I mean, the price can move pretty fast. If we get another big seller in there or a whole ton of small sellers, that could move down pretty fast. But we'll keep watching it. At the moment, still uptrend, still intact, as I say, but only just. And, of course, we've got to break out of this resistance line here. We've just been sliding down at the moment. And I thought we were almost going to break out here, as I say, but we've got the Hedron effect and, of course, two Hex OGs that have kept us sliding down the bottom here at the moment. So hopefully we'll get some buying, and that will prevent us from slipping down any further. So really at a critical turning point here and to hold that on to that uptrend reversal. Cookies and Crypto's in the house. Howdy, Hex Token. Hey, good to see you, Cookies and Crypto. Pleasure. And Mike says, thanks. You're welcome. Sachin says, right, thanks. I'll be watching closely for 10 cent mark to scoop up some Hex. Thanks for the info. Hey, you're welcome there, Sachin. Casey says those with balls shall hold. Those with balls shall buy. Yeah, that's right, Casey. Nice one. There's a good sense of humor. 10 cents, Hex, yes, but, says Corey. You didn't finish the little sentence there, Corey. Come on, Corey. Bring it out. Bring it out. All right, nice. All right, so we've got a lot of action. It's nice to see these. I think people will get sacrifice fatigue. And I think that I think we've actually got some good products. We know the big stuff is borrowing, so we've got good products there with liquid loans, never selling PLS, borrowing USDL to buy PLS, PulseX, Hex, and stuff. So that's good. That fits, a good market fit. We know that the NFTs are all getting copied over from Pulsechain over to PulseX from Ethereum over to Pulsechain as the biggest airdrop in crypto history. So NFTs need a market to trade on. So we've got Mintra, we've got PowerCity. Cool. We know we need bridges. We've got the official bridge, but of course PowerCity is looking at doing a multi-chain bridge. Good. That makes sense, right? So that's cool. And of course, we know that we're going to need other things like metaverse and stuff like that. So PowerCity's got multiple products around there, and they're all passive income oriented, right? All Pulse, giving out Pulse's income, and those are all really good. So that's it's a good thing. So they're all good fits. As I say, we've got Hedron as well. That means not having to sell your Hex. You can stake your Hex in HSI stakes. Never have to sell your Hex. So we've got liquid loans for never selling PLS, Hedron for never selling your Hex, and of course getting passive incomes. Beautiful, right? So it's all good stuff. I love to talk about it because it all is a good market fit and adds on. Obviously, there's a little bit of volatility as they launch. It has a sacrifice phase. Very, very nice. Now, obviously, with some of these third-party things, they've actually got to have a history of delivering. Can they deliver? That's the other thing. Now, I do understand that one of the Richards in the Internet Money one of the lead dev is a Richard Hart dev who's actually doing the AMM bot. That's what was told by the team there. So presumably that's true, and therefore that's very exciting that they'll be able to deliver that. If they can deliver the AMM bot, then they should be able to deliver a good MetaMask version for Pulsechain. And of course, that will be fees going back to the people using it. But once again, it's not just about building the tech. You also have to be able to market it and get people to pick them up and use the things, right? So that's the other side of it. Nice. All right. So yeah, and that's why I always say put the best probabilities in Richard Hart projects. This is the golden products. Richard Hart's ecosystem is the main game, of course, but you do need applications to come on. And of course, it's always good to have a little bit of diversification, a little bit of what if projects, and these kind of opportunities, I believe, are the case. Once again, I don't propose any of them, although I do have like liquid loans for the DeFi stuff there. So we've got lending, we've got NFTs, and of course, other things that will come in the future will be gamification, and of course, DeFi 3.0 with OHMs, but advanced OHMs with Treasury Pet. And Core's kind of like that. PowerCity's got a little bit of that kind of DeFi 3.0 in it as well. So nice. All right, so that's kind of a wrap up there. Let us get into some of the last bits here. I was going to go to Pulsechain Testnet 2 is over 3 months now. We're waiting for Pulsechain Testnet 2.5 this week. That's bullish, and I'm sure that will add a lot of confidence when it does launch in the next couple of days. So this Hex price is not just going to be standing alone. It will obviously, when the testnet comes out in the next couple of days, that's going to be good for momentum. Is it going to give us a big green candle? I don't suspect so, but I do think that it can help give us a bit of a lift, bit of a facelift. Maybe take a few years off the face, that kind of thing. And of course, that could keep us in this bull range as well. So 8 cents not in the game quite yet for me. And of course, with Pulsechain Testnet 2.5. This is another fundamental that's going to help us hopefully keep us in this upward range here with a breakout above here. Of course, we've got the next hurdle, of course, is the big triangle. And if you look at that, let me just pull up this full screen. The next triangle is to break out up here. And of course, at the moment, that's sitting around about 20 cents or so. So we're still looking for that. Nice. We're not going to make the all-time double every 6 months doubling for Hex. That's not going to. We're not going to make it for that. So we'll just have a different structure. It's going to happen afterwards, but it won't be too far after that period. So maybe 7 months. Maybe 7 months, eh? All right, cool. I think that's it. And I love this, of course. Our big whales, so friendly. Of course, going to help out Lit. My life is awesome, and that's awesome too. So give a like there. Hey, my life is awesome. Don't forget Pulsechain, ping, Pulsex, ping. I love that. I would put in special effects on this as well, but I'm only using StreamYard, and it doesn't seem to be that easy to do. But maybe I'll try and work it out. Nice. All right. So very, very cool. Once again, jump over to My Life is Awesome. If you want to help out, you can help donate to save his family home as well. Once again, that's up to you. Just a suggestion there. Nice. Corey says, I'm waiting for 10 cents to buy again. And that's a good range there, Corey. Hey, it's not out of the ballpark. Like I said, it's still at the 10% mark at me for the moment. Sachin says, sick of sacrifices low. My wallet's out cold, says Sachin. Yeah. Don't forget to keep some money for paying for bills, folks. Keep some money for paying for bills. We don't want to have, super rich Hexskins, Pulsechains and stuff on the street. So, definitely keep some money for bills. Richard says, as Richard has told everyone how to play the game, he has, Morris, and that's a very good point. So Richard is like, pick up your Hex, pick up your Pulsechain, pick up your Pulse Hex, and of course, hold on to it. Now, don't trade it. Hold on. Time in the market, not time in the market, is a big thing. Hey, but that's being said, I don't think having a little percentage of your portfolio speculating on a few things that you think have a good probability is that in my view that's it's a bit of fun. It makes investing a lot more fun. And of course, you can keep on the products there. But as I say, the main game is in the Richard Hart projects. Corey Klein says, I accidentally hit the send. I'm on an iPad and I'm not a big fan of it, or a screen keyboard. Really, Corey? No. So let us know what happened there, Corey. I'm not sure you send a bid in. Did you do a bid or something like that? Sachin says, okay, in your opinion, how far do you think we are from the Pulse launch? Give us a date. Yeah, I've already got a date, Sachin. I've got a timeline. I haven't actually got it up at the moment, but as everyone knows, I have a timeline on this channel. But let me see. I'm not sure if I've got that. I'm not sure if I put that in the video description. I think it's in the video description. Let me just see if it's there. I did edit the description a little bit. Let me just check. Bam, and yeah, so timeline's there. I've got the timeline. I'll just pull it up just a moment, and it's not completely up to date. It's probably a day out of date, but I'll pull it up. Bam, and take that. Copy that over. Not sure what that was, but we'll pull that up. Bam, and there we go. So this is the timeline. It's probably a day out, as I can see. So yeah, we've got the timeline here at the moment. Is the earliest is the 15th. The 15th of April is the earliest date. That's the key phrasing. It's not the date. It's the earliest date that I can see at the moment, based on all the information we have from Richard. Of course, we're expecting Pulsechain testnet 2.5 out this week. Next few days is my guess. We've had some updates in GitLab. Expecting that out. Of course, we're just over 3 months now on testnet 2, and we might be about 92 days. Pulsechain testnet 1 was 77 days, and of course, we're expecting this probably to be relatively short. This could be 2 weeks on the shorter side. This is going to have the updated balances for Pulse and PulseX Sacrifice. It's going to have the V2 AMM bot run, so it's half run. In other words, the V2 stuff's the easy stuff to do. And of course, that's harvesting those pools, Uniswap, Sushi, etc., for testing. And there's also going to be a new block height, and of course, that's going to be in here. So we're expecting that this week coming up. Of course, that could happen. Pretty much Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday kind of thing as we speak. So I'm in the future, of course, about a day in the future. Everybody else, got to be careful how I talk about timelines, but it's coming up here. It's already Monday here. At 5 o'clock in the evening. So we're already well in the future here in good old New Zealand. But that's what we're expecting coming up this week. The Pulsechain testnet 3, I think that Richard said it's going to be short. I still expect it to be short. Even the fact that we'll have the full AMM bot this time, not just the half AMM bot. Hopefully that will have version 3. They'll have got some math solutions for that, and being able to harvest the version 3 on Uniswap. Obviously, huge pool, right? So obviously to have the biggest yield farm in crypto history, to get all the yield farmers over in hundreds of thousands, we need to get all those pools up and running. Version 3 cannot be left out, really. Yeah, and it's more complicated, right? Because in version 3, you can put funds on one side of the pool. You can put different fees on it. You can have different parts of the price curve as well, be operating different parts. So it's a lot more complicated than version 2, which is a 50-50 on each side of the pool, trading pair, and of course it gets spread along the price curve. So it's quite a bit different from that. So yeah, they've got to do the mathematics for that sort of stuff. That's why I saw this sort of stuff that on Richard's channel about bounded ranges and all that math stuff. Because obviously looking at harvesting that, so cool. So yeah, then of course we're expecting this is going to have expecting a snapshot final block for the actual biggest airdrop in crypto history for Pulsechain. So we're expecting that to come in. And so 15th of April is the earliest date that I have at the moment. Obviously, as we get information, the date changes, right? And of course, we're trying to get reasonable. These are my guesstimates here. And of course, this is based on Richard's wording. So short means 2 weeks in my view. Of course, that is short because this is 92 days long for Pulsechain Testnet 2. Testnet 1 was 77 days. And given what's actually due, we've had everything else ticked off, as I say, including the basically PulseX as well. So you can see all the ticks there of the MVP, the minimum viable product, all gradually released. Just as Richard said, obviously it just takes a bit more time. Software takes time. Hex took over a year, and at the moment we've been if you start from the sacrifice point, we're in 8-9 months now. And of course, if you add on the first notice before that, we're probably about a year now already. So, it might just take time to do. And of course, but we're getting there. We're getting there. All the ticks means that we're getting there. And of course, with Pulsechain Testnet 2.5, that is very good momentum. And then, of course, the final step, once we get into here, that's going to give us even further momentum. And the whales may move as well. So they may leave a lot of the retail behind if the whales are looking to pick up stuff. We know we've got the Hex Scale Trust coming into play. So the Hex Investment Trust is now open. Now their first target is $10 million within 3 months, but they could well exceed that, right? So they could well pick up a lot more. And as I said yesterday's video, they could be 11, 12,000 T shares worth of buying. Obviously extended out, so maybe 4,000 T shares in the short term. And of course, if they stake that 555, they'll get 3 times more, so 200% more. So it's like 11, 12,000 T shares. As well. This is on the 10 million. Obviously, if they get 20 million, 30 million, just goes up and up and up. And of course, they're buying, accumulating, never selling, so that's just the way it goes. So it's going to be pretty cool. Yeah, nice. And of course, that doesn't include all the other whales in the house, like all the people that funding Jim talks to, all the billionaires, the high wealth worth people over 20 million. Doesn't deal with any of those people looking at the Kiyosakis. And of course, we've got other billionaires around. We've probably got 6 or 7 billionaires involved or looking at Hex, either in or tipping their toes into Hex, probably 6 or 7 of them. And of course, some of them will, if they're just tipping their toes in, they could be opening their positions up, especially as the Hex Investment Trust starts rolling up and other stuff. As they see more confidence, breeds more confidence. As they go in bigger, they tell more of their friends. So they tell more of their rich friends, and their rich friends take a position. And as you see it, just like in Bitcoin, that slowly gets bigger and bigger and bigger until the point, where it's, $65,000 or so, $68,000. So that's kind of the way it works. Kind of the same process happening for Hex, and of course this Hex Investment Trust is huge for that. This is the road to NASDAQ and stuff like that. So this is taking us and putting us up there with the big Bitcoins of the world, having access for all the institutions. So once this goes from a private trust, once they reach their targets and then they make it public, they said they have a road to make that happen very quickly. Then you're up there with the grayscales of the world with the Bitcoin investment. So you got that sort of energy coming in. So despite the gatekeeping that we get on CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko, of course we've got a legal challenge against that at the moment. And of course, papers have been served on CZ and stuff like that. Bar that, we're actually going to sideline that stuff and go straight to the big money. The big money is hundreds of trillions of dollars is on these big NASDAQ exchanges and stuff like that. So that opens them up to all big investment firms, technically BlackRock to everybody else, like anybody you could think of. Once we get onto that public exchange, opens it wider open. And of course, who else can offer a 38% APY? Who else can do that? None of the other Bitcoin can't, even the Grayscale can't do that. So you can see it's going to become self-fulfilling. Not only the return in Hex being 38% plus penalties on top, plus the share rate and the T shares declining over time ultimately, and the payouts going up, Hex per T share ultimately. You've also got the price appreciation as well. So it really is a big deal. And of course, after the private market, they'll be locked in. You won't be able to trade that stuff until you've got a secondary market like on NASDAQ, where you've got a unit price. So at the moment, I understand it's going to be 10x as setting the unit price on that. So that's cool. So what's that, about $1.30 or something per unit? Looks like going to be the price to open up on that. They're lucky, of course. They're super stoked. They want to get out before Pulsechain. They have got it launched before Pulsechain, and of course, not only that, but they've got the price just where they want it. Obviously, if the price goes to 8 cents, they'll be even more happier. But ultimately, I think if we're wanting an uptrend to start now, we don't really want to go down that far, in my view. And of course, we had this nice little breakout here. Once again, may not hold. We may go lower to 8 cents, maybe. But if we go to 8 cents, then 3 cents is in the game. So even though you've got that, you've got the other upside. So, hey, if we do ever go down there, time is running out, of course. If 15th of April is correct, or even in late April, then, that's not a lot of time as well. So we'll see how we go. But this time is time. And, of course, the market reacts to that. So if there's an empty, quiet time like now, the market will do things like this and send the price down. That's just what happens, as the way it goes. And, of course, we've got other things. We do have sacrifices on. We do have Hedron and, the general market in play. So lots of stuff there. We have the geopolitical risk. We have the Fed, inflation, monetary printing, interest rates. We have that in play as well. We have bad administrations running, most of the Western powers at the moment. So, that you get all that adding into the mix. Cool. All right. Here we go. Let's go check on the internet money. And, of course, it's got, I don't know what's happened here. It's got 8,500 here. I gather this is still poorly, although I thought we had a higher amount in here before. So I'm not exactly sure what's happening with that. There's probably still a better indicator. It's going to the main site here. See where we're at. So, yes, still says 1,200,000, 1.2. So pool A has been hit. We're now in pool B, basically. If you're sacrificing for that, you're in pool B. Cool. What else we got going on here? I think that was about it. I think that's probably it, folks, for that. I think I've covered everything I was going to cover today. Once again, I think that if you want to check out, let me just go here. If you want to check out Rack and Rochelle stuff there, and of course, My Life is Awesome, go check that out as well. Very, very cool. Hopefully, they're going to do that on Hexologist show, and they might end up, transferring that money to help pay off that family home. That's a pretty nice gesture. As well. So nice. Let's get into the final comments as we wrap up. 1 hour and 15 minutes, not too bad. Sachin says, I'm holding PLX alone, Hex for another 2 years, no matter what. Hey, that's brilliant, Sachin. I think that's such a good combination, such a good portfolio. I want to say this is a Richard Hart Maxi channel, but we will be talking about products and stuff that actually helps the Pulsechain ecosystem. It's no use having, everything is going to be awesome anyway, right? But having all these projects comes on just makes it even better. It's just like layers of a cake. Just keep layering on that value. And, of course, we're going to have some big fat ass cake when we finish. We're going to have the biggest airdrop in crypto history, biggest yield fund in crypto history, deflationary tokenomics right from the start, magical buy and burns. $1 billion is $600,000 on PulseX. It's just huge. Obviously, 2 billion is 1.2 million, 3 billion is 1.8 billion, etc. Massive bonus, staking, everything. It's just going to be the biggest cake you've ever had in your life. It's going to be so good. And on top of that, of course, we've got use cases. A lot of people coming to use these platforms, do NFT trading, do have a cool wallet, lots of stuff. So it really is quite neat. Prana Om says, good plan. I love it. James Bond says, Kira, bro. Some awesome live stream. Hex to the moon. Absolutely, James. And Kira to you. Was it Kira Katoa? Something like that. Sachin says, holy moly, I've never been so hyped about a crypto launch this much in my life. I am guessing I am not alone feeling the hype. You are. And that's why I get so excited on this live stream. It is so good. And it's a pleasure for me to talk about this day in and day out. I just absolutely love it. It's so amazing. This is the gold standard. Richard Hart is about to put a massive ecosystem within crypto. It's going to just blow people's minds out there. And like I say, and just quietly between you and me, if anything, it's going to be an Ethereum killer. Not that I want it to be necessarily, but if anything is, it would be a Pulsechain ecosystem that Richard Hart is building out. He said that 2022 is the year of infrastructure. And I said to you guys, 2022, 2023 is the year of virality. We're going to ramp that virality up. It is happening. And, of course, you can see that in many of the statistics, the wallets, the staking, the number of content creators coming up, new faces, a lot more female content creators. That's all a good sign of growth. And, of course, virality going up through up and to the right. So it's cool. Good thing, of course, we want to get Richard Hart's YouTube back up. For sure, because he's going to get, you imagine how fast the growth's going to be when Pulsechain comes over and that bridge opens up. Man, oh man, all the yield farmers, all the people coming to get their airdrops, they're going to come there, realize it's basically Ethereum, but Ethereum the way they want it, super cheap, super fast, and of course with tokenomics that you just can't get anywhere else, and they're going to just never leave, right? It's going to be awesome. Jonathan Capel says, that is a well thought out timeline. Nice suit, man. Hey, Jonathan, appreciate that. And Avio says, hello. Hey, Francina, good to see you. And we've got the emojis in the house. Little Richard says, thank you, sir. Hey, you're welcome, Little Richard. And Craig's got the emojis in the house as well. Hit the like before you go, folks. Support the stream. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. I can't even do it. It's so funny. I laugh at myself in the mirror. Hey, that's just the way it goes. Thomas says, prediction for PLS for the first 3 months. Hey, 50 to 70 X is what I'm thinking at the moment, Thomas. But I'm going to do more around the Pulse X price prediction. But yeah, 50 to 70 X is where I'm heading at the moment. I guess off the all-time low is probably the way I put that, whatever that's going to be. So I think it's going to be massive up and to the right. When that bridge opens up, folks, obviously, if you've sacrificed for Pulse, you are a part of a limited amount of people. And of course, when the bridge opens up, there's going to be hundreds, if not millions, of people coming over a certain amount of time that want to buy your tokens. You're holding on to those tokens now, that Pulse. They're going to want to buy your tokens. And of course, there's going to be a limited amount, right? So we just ignore the Origin account stuff, just the public stuff. We ignore the big whales. A lot of them will just keep their stuff, playing the long game. We only have to worry about all the ones that like to flick the X's. And of course, they're going to be wanting to come over to buy your Pulse X. And of course, on top of that, the whole system is designed to buy Pulse, burn it, or buy it and take the fees out of it. So you see what I mean? It's just amazing. And of course, on top of that, a month later after Pulsechain launches, liquid loan launches, people will then leverage their Pulse that they're holding to get more US dollar and probably buy more Pulse X, and more Hex. See what I mean? Everything works to prompt up Richard Hart's tokens. That's why that is the main game. That is the main game. It's the high probability and with the high rate of return stuff. So it really is exciting to be in. For sure. Morris Williams says that some Sachin, and Richard's got this. Whoop, whoop. He has, absolutely. And there's going to be a few surprises that we're not even aware of, and that's going to be fun too. Sachin, thanks for the awesome stream, man. You're the best, Sachin. Hey, a pleasure. Corey Klein says, at what time are you starting the streams now? I have moved. This stream was a little bit earlier. I think it was 15 minutes earlier, just because I want to get on the internet money. I knew that they were about to hit the 1.2 million, so I started a little bit early for that. And that's kind of the thing. I am wanting to move to 2 streams a day, around about 10 hours apart. I've just got to get my cycle in the right place for that. So that'll be covering 2 different parts of the world at different times. So I'm going to be doing that. And it'll be different topics. It won't all be the same topics. As you guys know, I pretty much try to keep up with what's the latest and greatest stuff happening, while also talking about the core products, Pulse X, and Pulsechain. Thanks, blah, 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 says Thomas. Hey, Thomas Aquinas. Nice. That's a cool name too, by the way. All right, so we're coming up now 56. Let's wrap up the stream, folks. Thanks for watching. If you want to subscribe. If you want to like, you want to hit the bell, and of course share. Do share it amongst your friends and everyone else in the community who does appreciate it, as we try to ride up into the middle pack here as content creators. And the other thing, of course, if you want to join as a channel member, get all the emojis and other access, then hit the join button. We've got Pulsekins, Hexkins, and Richard Hart. It's going to be very, very cool. All right, let us get out here. Thanks for watching. Nice. All right. Prediction for Pulse X for the first 3 months. Well, in my view, it's going to get a relative hit early on amongst the ratio trading the first day or 2. But I actually think it's got they've got different dynamics going on. So I'm going to talk about that probably tomorrow, Thomas, and I'll flesh that out for you. But it's actually got a slightly different factors pumping those two tokens. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. I'll try and flesh out the prices for Pulse and Pot. That's a good topic. It's been a while. I have to cover that many times, but I'll cover that in a bit more depth tomorrow, Thomas. Sachin says, so 67X from all-time low, or you are thinking we might go lower than the 0000 mark after Pulse? No, not at all. Token, I didn't say what the low was going to be. I just said that we're going to be there because it's actually going to go up. Woohoo! All right, thanks for watching, everybody. And let me jump over to the emojis on that one. Let me just check on that one. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, bam. All right, if you're a Hex Token channel member, folks, hit the emojis on the way out. I'll see you guys all tomorrow, and I do appreciate all your support to the Hex Token channel members. Big shout out, and as a bow, as always, to the subscribers. Thank you so much for watching, and of course, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, and of course, to everybody out there in the Hex, Pulsechain, and Pulse X community, this is the quiet time. It's going to get ready to rumble pretty soon. And of course, with Pulse X, Pulsechain, 2.5 coming out in the next few days, that's just another step towards getting there, folks. So just be patient, accumulate DCA, all that good stuff. Do your investment due diligence. and I hope you enjoyed everything. Catch you in the next one. Bye for now. Woo-hoo-hoo! Let's post these emojis. Bam. There they go. All right. Let me end up the stream here now. Bam.